would have had my insurance and it would have been already taken care of because I make way enough money to pay for a mirror or anything else.
Let me know when you're finished.
I'm not finished. I'm not getting into it with a grown man over a fake claim. I don't even like being in the same room with this man.
Fine. Step out. Out!
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Ignacio Olivas is suing Brittany Hill Warner for damages to his vehicle after her car door flew open and hit his car.
Order. All rise. It's case number 60 on the calendar in the matter of Olivas versus Warner.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat, please.
Mr. Olivas, it is your claim that Miss Warner damaged your car.
Right.
She damaged your car, according to you, when, as you were pulling out of a parking spot, she had just gotten into the parking spot, opened up her door into your car.
Right.
Was your car moving at the time?
No, ma'am.
You were about to pull out of the spot.
I wasn't ready to pull out. I was checking some receipts.
Parking lot of a big store, a Walmart?
Walmart, yes, ma'am.
Had you already been in the store?
Yes.
And you were going into the store?
That's correct.
On what date did this happen, Mr. Olivas?
February 28, 2019.
About what time?
11 o'clock in the morning.
That's not true.
How long had you been sitting in your car?
3-4 minutes.
Did Miss Warner pull up on the passenger side or the driver's side?
The passenger side.
Did you see her car pulling in?
I wasn't watching because I was watching my receipts, looking at my receipts. And then when I noticed is when I hit a big hit on my car. When she opened the door.
That's
and,
a lie.
And the wind.
I don't want to hear you.
And the wind, it was too windy, and the wind took the door away from her and scratched my car and broke the mirror.
Oh, that's a lie. It's not Chicago. Like, the wind is not that bad. It's Reno, Nevada.
What part of I don't want to hear you until I ask you? Don't you understand? Who is this?
That's my husband.
Good. I have a few questions for him. Stand up. How long have you known each other?
About 11 years.
I would like the first and last name of anybody that you know who fixes cars. First and last name.
I got the last name. I don't know the first.
Well, that's not helpful to me.
His name is...
Shut up! I don't want you to open your mouth until I ask you a question. Do you understand? So you do not have the name of anyone who fixes cars.
Garcia.
Now, did your wife just tell you the first name?
Yes.
How do you know Garcia? Do you know Garcia?
He fixes all of the family members' cars.
How did you meet him?
Through fixing my car.
Through
My
your wife?
Yes.
So you met Mr. Garcia through your wife because you didn't even know his first name. She had to tell you his first name, right? This is all going to become very important. You
Correct.
understand how it's going to be important, right?
Yes.
Yes. You understand? You understand how it's
I
going to
hear where
become
you're going.
very important. You know exactly where I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
Smart.
Oh, I'm all over
Now
it.
you can sit.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you both got out of the car, when this happened, and I assume you both got out of the car,
Yes, ma'am.
what happened?
She said, I'm sorry, I will promise you to fix your car, whatever the damage is.
Okay, that's what she said.
And I asked her for a pin to write down her name and policy insurance and everything. She don't have it. I don't have it either. So I asked her for her phone number. She gave me the number, and I called right there, right away. And
Did Miss Warner, according to her answer that she signed, ever say to you, I felt badly for him and someone who could fix it cheaply? Now we know where we're going, right? Right. Not I know someone who can fix it. My husband knew someone who could fix it cheaply. She said, even though my door never hit his car. And she gave you her number, and you called the number, so you knew it was the right number.
she gave me her husband's phone number, and I did call him, and he told me, I'm at work right now. When I get off from work, I will call you back. Since then, I haven't heard from them at all.
Okay. So now you can stand up, sir.
Thank you.
Good. Just answer my questions. So your wife knew Garcia's name. Your wife knew Garcia's number. So there would be nothing to prevent your wife from saying to him, I really feel badly for you. My family's been using somebody for years. His name is Garcia. This is his number. He could probably fix it for you cheaply. Now, does that sound reasonable to you? I just read you what she wrote. Doesn't it sound reasonable if what her excuse is, I never hit his car, but I felt sorry for him, and I wanted to get him somebody who could fix his car cheaply. She could give him his name and his number, because you got all that information from her, right?
Wrong.
You just told me you met Garcia through your wife.
Correct.
Right. So she had the information. So whatever. She had the information.
She doesn't have it anymore, though. I'm the one who deals with all the
You don't even know his first name.
Because I call him Mr.
Just a
Garcia.
second. Sit down. It doesn't make sense, and if something doesn't make sense, sir, it's not true. That doesn't require an answer. That was a statement. Close your mouth. But then you managed to get a paper, Mr. Olivas, according to your complaint, and you wrote down her information.
Yes, I did.
Her tag number and the license plate number on her
Right.
car. And you got no satisfaction from either the defendant or the husband when you tried to contact them. Put your hand down.
They never call me, Your Honor.
Now, the next thing that you did was you really tried to find them.
Right.
And you hired a process server.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that you?
It's him over here.
Would you stand up, please?
He's a molester.
It's all very easy. You do the wrong thing happens, you do the wrong thing, you get skunked sometimes at the end, sometimes you come out scot-free. This is somebody who, instead of just letting it go and fixing whatever the mirror it was, he went to the expense of hiring a process server because you did the wrong thing.
Not true.
The right thing, oh yeah, the wrong thing. That didn't make sense what you said in your answer. Didn't make sense. Call my husband. He'll give you the name of somebody to do something cheap when you don't know this man from a hole in the wall. Here's my phone number. Don't take down anything else. I don't have my insurance. I'll give it to him.
Because I never hit his car.
Just a second.
If I would have hit his car, he would have had my insurance and it would have been already taken care of because I make way enough money to pay for a mirror or anything else. But there was no damage there.
Let's find out what the
There was nothing.
Let's find out what the process
He's a
server had to say.
molester. He touched my breast, grabbed me like this with
Yes.
my
No,
name that
I
said Brittany,
And I
with
was
my
2
husband in
seconds
the
of-
car,
I was
and
2
he
seconds
almost
of
got his
being
ass
wrong.
beat. He is a
Straight up.
molester, and he needs to pay for his job.
Straight
he
up.
threw paperwork in my face over this fake claim. Nobody makes that much damage on a vehicle from that silly picture with the mirror. If your car goes into a parking lot and you hit a door, it's a dent. It's not a scratch. It's not you lose a
sense.
mirror. That's common sense. You pull into a parking spot and you park. At lunchtime, you open your door, it hits a car, then it would make a dent. It would not key up an entire car and you break your own mirror off to make a fake claim. I'm not getting into it with the grown man over a fake claim. I was just trying to help him. He called me 500 times. He harassed my family. He harassed my kids, and he grabbed my breast. He grabbed my breast in my car and threw paperwork in my face, scratching my lip. So he is a molester.
Wow.
And to have to even stand next to this man, there should be police here because he's a bad person. This case is fake. He made this all up.
I'm
It is
letting...
parking lot at Walmart. I pulled into the car beside him. This man is standing outside of his car. He was not looking at a receipt. Who sits in the parking lot at 6 minutes at Walmart to look at a receipt? He's standing there. He has obvious damage on the side of his car, and I feel sorry for this man. So I take the time out of my lunch with my name and everything on my uniform, and I represent my company. I had to stay there and talk to this man. I didn't have a choice. I was on lunch. I go inside. I had time to shop and everything. If I really did this, the man would have came into Walmart and found me. He would have definitely found me. He would have got my information. We would have moved forward. A freaking pin stopped your whole thing. Nowadays, we don't need pins. We have cell phones, so this is a lie. This makes no sense. I'm standing here in this courtroom for no reason because this man has harassed my family. This guy, that's why I'm countersuing, because this man came to my house 6 times, talked to my kids, refused information, did not leave a business card, did not do anything. Then he found me in my parking lot, flips around in the middle of the street with my kids in the car, asked me to roll down my window, and I did it because I'm like, who is this guy standing at my door? He pulls it down. You are Brittany. Pulls my breast in front of my kids, with my husband in the car.
Do me a favor. Don't repeat yourself. I'm listening to your tirade.
This is exactly what happened.
I just want to let me know when
I'm
you're finished.
angry.
Just a second. Let me know when you're finished.
This is a complete lie because nobody scratches a vehicle. If you're in a parking lot, the parking spots are this big.
Miss Warner.
Who can scratch up a whole entire vehicle? I'm in an SUV. This guy's in a little car. I felt sorry for him.
I told you to stop now. I let you get it out of your system, but I'm not going to listen to it twice. Do you understand?
I do.
I heard about your breast at least twice. I don't care.
Anybody else would have been in jail.
Do you understand me? I heard about your breast at least twice. So if you have nothing...
He deserves to hear about my breasts 3 times.
And I want to tell you something. I've heard about it as much as I'm going to. Can I see the pictures of the damage to your car?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you can see the pictures of no damage to mine.
I don't care about your car.
Look at that car. If you key up a vehicle, your whole car is damaged and you pay thousands to get it fixed. The worst part of my car is it's dirty.
Now, may I please see the estimate to have your car fixed? What is your last name, sir?
Jacobs.
Mr. Jacobs. I'm going to put you out, do you understand? I'm going to put you out.
I don't even like being in the same room with this man.
Fine. Your counterclaim's dismissed with prejudice. You can step out. Your counterclaim's dismissed with...
Good luck molesting people.
Wow.
Perfect. Just the way I like to do a case.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Walked up to her, said, Brittany, I have some paperwork for you. And she said, my name's not Brittany. And I said, yes, it is. It's on your shirt. And I slid it through about a 2-inch crack on the window. So her window is only opened about that far, so.
Oh, I'm so glad it got quiet in here.
And later today,
Did she answer the phone?
She did.
And what did you tell her?
I said there's a lot of things wrong with this vehicle. That's not what I was looking for. I'm going to bring the car back, and I want the $1,100 back.
So what did you say?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ignacio Olivas says Brittany Hill Warner owes for damaging his vehicle when her car door flew open and hit his car.
How did you know Mr. Olivas?
I just met him recently. We were doing a serve for him.
You doing a what?
We were doing a serve. Other than
On
that,
this case?
On this case.
So
The first
you
time
never
I've ever
knew
met
him before?
No.
So you were trying to serve a summons on that defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he pay you for your service?
He paid our company, yes.
How much did Mr. Olivas pay you for your service?
I believe it was around $49.
And you had the...
Statement of our attempt for the serve.
May I see it, please? You had her address?
Yes.
How many times did you attempt to serve her at her address?
One of our other servers attempted twice, and that was my second time.
Had you ever seen anybody at the house?
The first time that I went,
Yes, just you.
Yes,
Who
her
did you
husband.
see? Well, you're allowed to leave a summons with a person of suitable age and discretion at the house in your jurisdiction. Why didn't you leave it with her husband?
He denied that she lived there, and we didn't know if it was her husband or not for sure until I pointed out a picture.
Just a second. What exactly did he say to you?
He said another gentleman had already came and asked for her, and he had told her that she did not live there.
Did you attempt to serve her at her place of business?
No, we did not have a...
Only her house?
Yes.
Did you finally locate her?
I was leaving the parking lot, and she was pulling in.
Leaving what parking lot?
The parking lot where she lives. She was pulling in. She pulled into a parking spot. I came around, pulled up behind her, walked up to her, said, Brittany, I have some paperwork for you. And she said, my name's not Brittany. And I said, yes, it is. It's on your shirt. And I slid it through about a 2-inch crack on the window. So her window is only opened about that far, so...
Oh, I'm so glad it got quiet in here. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $26.91. Thank you very much. We're finished.
I'm 100% satisfied because she knows when somebody's lying, she knows when somebody's telling the truth and everything. And to myself, I don't think I'm a liar. I don't think he's a liar. I don't think he's a molester either. You have to do the right thing and come to see Judge Judy because she's the best in the United States.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Shady Fagan versus Foy. Step forward.
Alita Shady Fagan is suing Talisha Foy for a refund for a car she sold her that turned out to have issues.
Miss Foy, do you have the title to this car?
No, ma'am. She has it.
When did you give it to her?
I left it in the car when she had came to get it.
Well, the car is back at your house, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So the car is in your house. You have the title.
She took the title out of the car.
Did you?
Ma'am,
The answer is either yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Now, that's answered my question.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Defendant said to you, I don't know who you are. I'm not giving you my car without some collateral. So you gave her the $1,100 in cash.
I did.
And what did you do after you got the $1,100 and she took off with the car?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Owes her a refund for a car with issues.
You were looking for a used car. You found it online. You contacted the defendant. You went to her house in May of this year. You'd never met her before. You looked at the car. According to you, she told you there were some issues with the car. Had you discussed a purchase price?
Yes.
And what was the purchase price?
$1,100.
According to you, you wanted to take the car to your mechanic before you finalized the deal, and you said to the defendant that you wanted to take the car to your mechanic. Defendant, according to your complaint, said to you, I don't know who you are. I'm not giving you my car without some collateral. So you gave her the $1,100 in cash.
I did.
And where did you take the car?
I took it to NTB in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
To inspect it?
I told them I got a car. I said, can you look this over for me?
And about what time did you get there?
I want to say around 3:30 in the afternoon, 3:45.
Okay, so it was shortly after you left her.
I drove straight there.
And they examined the car, and according to you, it needed a lot of work. You called her. What time did you call her?
I want to say around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Where did you call her from?
From NTB.
From the mechanic?
Yes.
Did she answer the phone?
She did.
And what did you tell her?
I said, I'm here. I just got the printout. There's a lot of things wrong with this vehicle. There's over $4,000 worth of repairs. That's not what I was looking for. $100 back.
And she said?
She kind of hesitated. She said, okay, all right, but I'm not home right now. I can call you when I get home. And I said, okay.
Where did you go?
I was at my mom's house, but she did not.
Shh. Did she call you from the mechanic?
No, ma'am.
When did she call you?
She called me around, I think, like 8 that night from her cell phone.
Well, I don't care what she called you from. She called you the same day.
Right.
The same day that she had made this transaction with you about 3:30 in the afternoon.
The transaction was around 1 or 1:30.
And what did you do after you got the $1,100 and she took off with the car? What did you do?
Nothing. I was at home all day till I went to my mother's house.
And
which
what did
stayed
you do?
A couple of doors down from me.
And you still had the $1,100?
Yes, ma'am.
She called you and she said, I want to return this car. It's got a lot of damage on it. So what did you say?
I told her she already took the car. She wasn't getting her money back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Did she tell you that she wanted to take the car to a mechanic?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now you have the car, right? But
Yes,
you
ma'am.
don't have the title.
No, ma'am.
She has the title. How are you driving the car without the title?
I'm not driving the car.
Who is?
Nobody is parked in the yard where she lives.
To the car?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Your Honor, if I may.
What?
I may have been a little off with the time in the beginning. However, I called her at 6, like I said, because I called her on 3 occasions when she did not call me back and she didn't pick up. So I sent the text message, which I have printed out.
I'd like to see it.
And the text messages actually have the times.
I'd like to see it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,100. Don't touch the car. I actually think that you're a scammer. I actually think that she told you, based upon what I read, that she wanted to have the car checked out. And you told me that you still had the money. You told her, don't bother coming here, I don't have the money. Business is business. That's what you told her. So I actually think that your answers to me and your answers were disingenuous. You understand? I just want you to know what I think about you. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I knew she would see, right through it.
I told her some problems were wrong with it.
Was prepared that it was as is, but she did not disclose
Check engine light was on
everything that was wrong with the car.
because I'm not a scammer.
And she tried to get me for $1,100.
Did she build a website for you?
No, ma'am. Yes, I did. She's lying.
A web designer and client weren't clicking.
It was not published on the internet, period, in discussion. Yes, it was published on the internet. You just needed a password.
You're fighting with each other. I'm going to throw you both out.
And it's not her first reboot.
Did you have another developer prior to hiring the defendant?
I've had several developers.
Right.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Real estate broker Constance Kelly is suing graphic designer Eleanor Phillips for a refund for a business website.
Order. All rise. It's case number 102 on the calendar in the matter of Kelly versus Phillips.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Kelly, you hired a real estate broker. When did you get your license?
I was licensed in 2016.
And did you work for someone else?
I was at another brokerage, yes, before I got my own broker's license and launched my own company.
Which was when?
I launched my brokerage in August of 2018.
And what's the name of that company?
CKRE Idaho.
Bert, do you have an iPad or some device there?
Yeah.
What's the website? It's CKREIdaho.com.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to look at it. Okay, and when did this website go up?
That website went up about a month ago.
Prior to that, did you have a website? That's a yes or no?
No.
When did you hire the defendant to build a website for you?
The beginning of January.
Of 2019. How much was she charging you to build that website?
$3,600.
And you gave her a deposit?
Yes, ma'am.
Of $1,800?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and that's what you want back?
Correct.
Did she build a website for you?
No, ma'am.
Did you build a website for her?
Yes, I did.
Can you show me what you did?
Yes, I can. These were all the pages before the website was taken down. There is some content that is not exactly finished in there because...
Is a fair and accurate representation of the work that the defendant did and that was up.
So, Your Honor, these are what we call mock-ups. This was never published to my website.
That is wrong.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me that those were never on the internet?
No, ma'am.
That those pages you never used?
Correct.
Okay.
She's lying.
Where did you get those from?
The internet.
When?
I believe that was the day that our dispute happened, which was February 7th.
Now, the dispute occurred because the website was not built so that it could accommodate MLS listings?
Yes, ma'am, you're correct.
Do you have MLS capability now?
I haven't.
That's either a yes or a no.
No.
And the website is up because he just found it.
It's a placeholder while the new website is being developed.
And you do understand that there is now a fee for using MLS services?
No, not for me. Because I'm not a vendor. I don't provide that as a web developer.
Is what you're telling, because this is all about the MLS and whether or not you get your deposit back. So far, she did work. I see she did work, and I don't believe you that it wasn't up on the internet, by the way. I don't believe that. I believe that that's where she got the pictures from.
It was not on the internet, Judge Judy.
Yes, it was, and I even have an email where I sent her... Yes, it's right here. It wasn't ready to be viewed publicly.
She just said the key words, Your Honor. It wasn't ready to be viewed publicly. It was not published on the internet, period.
Yes, it was published on the internet. You just needed a password.
You're fighting with each other. I'm going to throw you both out because I don't have to listen to this. I'm reading something.
Your Honor, this is a red herring. I have a voicemail from Miss Phillips over here saying that she has no problem refunding me my money.
Just a second. I'm reading something. Did you have somebody developing a website for you prior to the defendant?
I had another local...
That's either a yes or a no.
No.
Well, that's not what it says here.
I'm not clear on your question, Your Honor.
My question is very clear. I speak English. I said, did you have another developer prior to hiring the defendant?
I've had several developers.
Right. So the answer is yes. How many?
I would say that I've had 4 websites in the last 4 years. As my company, my business has grown and expanded, the demands of my website have also grown and expanded.
No, that's not what this says. Okay, now you say you have a voice message from her.
Yes, ma'am.
Where she says she is going to refund the deposit that you gave her, which she's opposing in this proceeding. She said she did a lot of work on...
She didn't. She put up a simple template.
I'm speaking. She said she put in work on your website, and she deserves to be compensated for that. If you went someplace else, that's up to you. So now I'd like to hear the voicemail.
How to respond to that. If you feel so strongly that I haven't done anything for you, then I will refund your money. And I have no problem doing that because that's the type of person that I am.
If you can tell that I'm taking a breath because she clipped that voicemail, she's not playing the full voicemail in context.
I can play the full voicemail if you'd like, Your Honor.
I would.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to clip audio.
You obviously just did.
Just, if you talk to each other, I'm just going to throw you both out.
Sorry.
Do you understand?
I apologize, Your Honor.
Okay.
Hi, Constance. This is Elle. I just received your...
No, Your Honor, this is 2.5 minutes. Do you want to listen to the full entirety?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Constance. This is Elle. I just received your email, and I'm a little disappointed, but I just want to get some clarification. First of all, I've spent over 22 hours literally working until midnight trying to get your website complete and ready to go. I just want to express that site to where it is now. And that does not include phone calls and getting you set up on GoDaddy and making sure that all of that is set up on your end. So I guess my disappointment at this point runs with that you want to pay me $350 for over 22 hours of work. And I'm not really sure how to respond to that. If you feel so strongly that I haven't done anything for you, then I will refund your money. And I have no problem doing that because that's the type of person that I am. But I also want to let you know that if you don't pay me, or at least let me keep the deposit for the work that I have put in, I can't make your site live because I have put in significant...
No. Because I have.
I am. But I also want to let you know that if you don't pay me, or at least let me keep the deposit for the work that I have put in, I can't make your site live because I have put in a significant amount of time. I just told you that I was willing to make your site live and get that up and going and eat in order to get the IDX up and running. I never told you that I had IDX capabilities. I was depending on you for that. It was my assumption that as a realtor, you had access to the MLS. I have mentioned it a couple times that the only requirement that I needed in order to get the MLS working on your website was a username and password. And we both found out at the same time that you're not willing to pay $150 a quarter for that password access. And if you want me to sign up as a vendor and I'll pay $150 a quarter, I will agree to that, but I'm only going to agree to it for 1 year. So I think that's where we're landing, is that I really have put a lot of time into this. So if you could please give me a call back so we can at least talk this out, I would really appreciate it. You can record the phone calls. That is totally fine with me. But I need you to understand that I have put a whole...
That's it, Your Honor.
She was being most reasonable with you, Ms. Kelly.
I understand.
She was being most reasonable with you. She said, I will keep the deposit. You don't have to pay me anything else. I will get your website up and running. We both found out at the same time that there is a fee for MLS of $150 a quarter, which means she was willing to pay $600 in order to, that's what she says in there. I mean, you were giving me that one clip where she says, I will give you back your money.
I was trying not to waste your time, Your Honor.
Your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think it was a very fair and just decision. I was willing to just bend over backward for her, and she just didn't care. You should absolutely get paid, and you should fight when you need to.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Knutson versus Beckwith, step forward.
Cleaning service owner Heidi Knutson is suing her former employee, Julie Beckwith, for soliciting clients away from her cleaning company in Hawaii.
This is a contract case. Ms. Knutson, you hired the defendant as an employee with your home cleaning service.
Yes.
What month did you hire her?
That was July of 2018.
And she worked for you until when?
Till April 30th, 2019.
And where was that business?
In Honolulu, Hawaii.
And where did you live?
I lived in Utah at the time.
Had you lived in Hawaii?
Yeah, I was there for 8 years.
So you were running your business long distance?
Yes.
How many employees did you have?
It fluctuated anywhere from 1 to 3.
Did you do home cleaning when you lived there?
I did, yes.
And you had a certain number of clients?
Yes.
So those clients that you had, and then you hired the defendant
Yes.
to do the same work that you were doing.
Yes, exactly.
Now, you had a contract with her. I'd like to take a look at it.
Okay.
So what you have is a contract with her that has a non-interference clause with your business. And it reads, the client list, client information, and client contact information are the property of 808 Cleaning, that's your company, and the employee may not use, service, or solicit said clients outside of the administration of 808 Cleaning. The employee and the employer agree not to publicly defame the other party in the event of termination. Okay, so what happened was she worked for you for about 8 months and then went out on her own, and I don't know how many, but many of the clients that she was servicing followed her to her new place.
Right.
And so you're suing her for breach of contract.
Yes, but also, I mean, she was very dishonest. She told me she was leaving to start a vacation rental.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How many, 19 or 20 stayed with you?
Yes, that's correct.
And 3 decided to go with her?
That I know of. Those are the only ones that have proof.
Well, that's all that counts here. We're in a court.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Cleaning service owner Heidi Knudsen says former employee Julie Beckwith solicited clients away from her business. Julie is countersuing for unpaid work hours.
Okay, you really have to understand, it's not as if you were the CEO of a large company. You had a personal business. You were moving, and what you did was you hired somebody else to clean, and you took a cut of whatever they... Half, whatever it is. You took half, and in exchange for that, you got the clients, and you got half. That's what the deal was. And the question is, how many of your clients stayed with you?
About 19 or 20. The total of everything she took added up to about $17,000 a year that she took from my business.
You see, you have a contract, but an unsympathetic position.
She was still working for me when she was telling them about her new business.
Well, you don't know that. You don't have a witness here to tell you.
I do know that. I have text messages.
Oh, I'd like to see.
Okay.
If you have text messages that while she was still working for you, she was soliciting these clients, rock solid.
I have a witness also.
Great. You may have, but how many of her clients came with you? A number.
A few.
Not a number.
3.
3. And 19 or 20 stayed with you?
Yes, that's correct.
And 3 decided to go with her?
That I know of. Those are the only ones that have proof.
Well, that's all that counts here. We're in a court.
Right.
You understand you're in an unsympathetic position for me. Now show me proof that she was soliciting the 3 clients she took from you while she was working for you. She's not allowed to do that. And that's not what she said she did.
She admitted that she did it, Your Honor.
You said you had text messages. I'd like to see it.
Got a little scrambled. This is the one from actually the client here, Adrian.
I'd like to see it. When did you terminate your business? April 30th?
I gave her a 2-week notice on April 16th, and
4/16.
my last day was the April 30th.
It's dated May 1st.
Yes.
After she left your employment.
However, if you...
I'm going to read it. It's dated May 1st, after she left your employment.
Yes, it is, ma'am.
Okay. This is a very easy... She says, hello, Heidi. I assume that's your first name. She said, I sent this to you on Monday. This is Wednesday. I understand that Julie, so 2 days before she left, but she had given you notice, I understand that Julie is leaving, and we will be getting a new person with your company. So she would be coming from your company. That's not unreasonable. So far she didn't break anything. She said, goodbye, I will not be coming back. You'll be getting a new person from the company. I'd really like to stay with Julie, as she has come to know our home, a dog, and us so well. I hope you understand, and thank you for introducing us. Please accept this as my notification that we'll be ending services with your company effective this week. Again, thank you for supporting our housekeeping needs, and I wish you much success in the future. That's you.
Correct.
What's wrong with that?
It shows that she was telling everybody about her new cleaning business prior to when
No. No. That's not what this says at all.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I live in Hawaii, and you live in Utah, and I don't want you to pick somebody out because I could pick some stranger out to come and clean my house. I mean, don't you understand the logistics of it?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Cleaning service owner Heidi Knudsen says former employee Julie Beckwith solicited clients away from her business. Julie is countersuing for unpaid work hours.
Okay, I still haven't heard that she breached the contract.
She's serviced.
She's not allowed to solicit them. It's a free country. They can say, I don't want you to be my cleaning service anymore. I live in Hawaii, and you live in Utah, and I don't want you to pick somebody out because I could pick some stranger out to come and clean my house. I mean, don't you understand the logistics of it? Are you licensed and bonded?
I am.
Okay. You are Adrian.
Yes.
Last name?
Stofko.
You live in Hawaii?
Correct.
How long had the plaintiff been servicing your home?
I would say it's been at least a year, if not more.
Was the plaintiff the person who came?
No. There's maybe 2 to 3 different people before Julie began cleaning.
And I would like you to tell me the conversation you had with her in April. Must have been in April, sometime in April.
I travel for work quite frequently, so it's often that I need to coordinate the time that someone will be coming to the home. And in case I'm not there, my husband would need to let them in. And so I had asked her what time next week would she be coming, and she let me know at that point she would not be coming anymore because she put in her 2 weeks' notice.
And what did you say to her?
I asked her, are you moving off the island? Where are you going? And she responded and let me know that she was starting her own company. And to that, I asked her if she would be willing to continue cleaning for us. I leave the house sometimes when she's cleaning, and because we had kind of a several different folks and we finally had someone consistent that we trusted, I asked her if she'd be willing to continue servicing our home with her new business.
Okay, well, that is somewhat different, actually, than what you wrote in this text. That's a solicitation. That's not saying you will be getting someone from the company to come and service you. And of course, you can have a conversation with her. You can say, can I have your contact information? You probably already had her contact information, so you were free to call her. But what you just testified to is that she said to you, I'm leaving, I'm starting my own company, and that you're not allowed to do, Ms. Beckwith.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
How many clients do you have? 3 that you took from her? How many clients do you have altogether now?
I have about 7.
Okay. How much do you pay her?
I pay her once a week. It's $130, and depending upon if there's extras, it can go up to $170 a week.
And a reasonable period of time for a non-compete, I would say, while it's not in here, is a year. And in a year, you pay $130 a week.
Correct.
Sometimes more. Well, my limit is $5,000, and that's what you're entitled to. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you. What about my countersuit?
For?
Overtime hours. She hired me as an employee.
Goodbye.
And paid me as a contractor.
Please excuse me, step up.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I didn't steal her clients. Her clients decided to not continue with her and to go with me.
I couldn't be happier.
So I didn't ask them to follow me. They said that they wanted to do that.
She knew she was being dishonest.
Ready to be done, move on.
I thought it was going the other way, and I'm stoked.
One of your children ran into some financial difficulty.
Exes agreed to help clean up their son's mess.
You and your son had a falling out, and you changed your mind about paying.
Right.
Now Dad gets nothing but dirty looks.
I was not notified.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that. There's no question. You knew that they had had a major blow-up. Don't look at him.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Ex-husband, Paul King, for breaching their agreement to help their son pay his rent.
Order. All rise. It's case number 4 on the calendar in the matter of King versus King.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. folks have a seat, please.
Miss King, you and Mr. King have been divorced, according to what I read, for over 20 years.
Yes.
And you have grown children.
Yes.
One of your children ran into some financial difficulty.
Yes.
I gather that's not an unusual occurrence for this particular child.
He got hurt at work and was on disability, and yeah.
And is he married?
He is.
And his wife is pregnant?
She is.
They were unable to pay their rent.
Exactly.
And some bills. So you contacted, according to what I read, you contacted your ex-husband.
Ryan contacted my mom and asked my mom for help.
Okay, this is your son?
Yes.
That's your mother?
Yes.
So, to speed things up, he asked your mom for help. Your mom called you?
Called Paul.
Called his father?
His dad, yeah.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
So your former mother-in-law called you and said, what's your son's name?
Ryan.
Ryan is in some difficulty.
Yes.
On what date was that? Do you remember, Mr.
Like maybe Thursday, the 11th of April.
Do you remember what date it was that you called?
My daughter just reminded me it was the 12th.
Friday.
Okay. And what did you say when your former mother-in-law called you?
Well, she originally suggested splitting it 4 ways between my mom and me and Janet and her.
How much was your son looking for?
His rent, I think, is $1,700. I think half of it was $877, according to Janet's record. So.
Okay. So your former mother-in-law wanted you to come up with $877, either between you and your mother. She was going to kick in some money with her daughter, I assume. And that was on the 12th.
Correct.
And what did you tell her?
I kind of reluctantly agreed.
Did you agree on the 12th, is my question.
I did.
And then what happened, Mr. King?
Following that, I can't remember exactly how this transpired, but there was a text string that started.
Do you have that?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at it. Because this is what it is alleged. It is alleged that based upon your agreement to pay the $877, your former wife paid the whole amount of rent, and then it is alleged that you and your son had a falling out and you changed your mind about paying. Whether or not your former wife, Mrs. King, paid your son's rent before or after you advised her that you changed your mind. Because you understand, once you have an agreement with her and she acts on that agreement, then you're bound.
Correct.
But if she had not acted on that agreement and paid the money, and if you notify her before that you've changed your mind, she had an opportunity to back out and say, I'm just going to give you $877. Do you understand?
Yes.
Great.
Sorry for some of the language in there.
I'm not looking for the emails. You had an argument with your son on the same date, Friday, April 12th, that's what this says, at 5:45 in the p.m. is when the email chain started with your son.
There should be a text message in there to Janet saying, you guys are on your own, I'm not going to pay into it.
Okay. Well, was this to Janet?
Yes.
And this says, you and your mom. How do I know this was to Janet? It says, you and your mom will have to figure out what you're going to do or not do for Ryan.
Does it show?
Oh, you and your mom.
Right.
I got you and your, this is to Janet.
Right.
You and your mom.
Right.
Are going to have to figure out what you're going to do out. So this was at 6:44 in the p.m. on Friday, April 12th.
Correct.
Okay. Now, Miss King,
yes,
what you have to do is show me the date and time that you transferred the money from you and your mother to your son. The date and the time you transfer the money between you, your mother, and your son. And if you don't have that, you have no case.
The money from the bank?
Yes.
Well,
unless what you're telling me is that you transfer the money to your son.
No, I didn't.
After or before you received your former husband's text.
I never received a text saying that he was out. Never once, because I was blocked. As soon as this all happened, he blocked my phone, he blocked Ryan's phone, and he blocked my mom's phone.
Not before he sent this. Listen to me.
I don't have that because it didn't go through. Ryan paid it on with my debit card on a app, renter's app.
Just show
I don't
everybody.
have that.
Just a second.
Okay.
What you're going to have to do is everybody keeps records, everybody, of the date and the time of...
There it is, and if she could just slide like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bert, I'm not touching it. Do you understand that I'm not touching it? Well,
It has the date, but it does not show the time.
could you scroll over there?
That's the second page.
Oh, the check was returned to you.
It was... Shh, I'm sorry.
Just a second. It was returned for insufficient funds with a check charge of $25? Is that correct?
It is.
Okay. And that was done on April the 18th?
Yes.
Don't move with that thing. So now the check was returned on April 18th, and your son did not get the money on the 18th?
True.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And the money was resent somehow?
Correct.
But you had already been notified on the 12th that your former husband, yes, you were.
I was not notified.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that. Let's start out with that. You were notified. Either he has a text, but you were either notified by your son, by your mother. Between the 12th and the 18th, there isn't a question in my mind that you were notified that your former husband was not, don't look at him, towards this rent. There's no question in my mind about this. You were in discussion with your son because your son must have called you and said to you, your check bounced at some point on the 18th. Well, if your check bounced, then you had to have some sort of a discussion with him, which was, I had a big fight with my father. He blocked me from his phone. All right, well, that would be a ding-a-ling. Then you would have to say...
But that didn't happen. Ryan did not have a conversation with his dad. I mean, his dad blocked me and blocked him and blocked my mother's phone.
That would
he
have...
never sent me that text,
Mrs. King,
and he never
Mrs.
told
King,
me.
Miss King.
Paul, you're going to tell her that you blocked me and you did not get that
just a
text?
second.
He's lying. Is it funny?
There is no question in my mind that he blocked you, he blocked your son, and he blocked your mother. There's no question in your mind that that happened. There's also no question in your mind that you knew by the 18th, when your check was returned for insufficient funds, that your former husband, you knew by the 18th, when you reissued the check, if you ever did your mother reissue a check?
Yes, ma'am.
On what date?
The 18th.
There's no question. They had had a major blow-up. Is that a fair statement?
Correct.
That's a fair statement.
Correct.
The same
Don't
day.
speak. Don't speak to him. Listen, don't speak to him. Stand up. Did your father ever co-sign for a car for you?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I don't know the exact date. It
Give
was
me a
probably
year.
2 years ago.
Give me a year.
2 years ago.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
34 years old, and you needed your father to co-sign for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. And when he co-signed for you, that meant that you were going to pay for the car.
Correct.
He was just co-signing because you had bad credit.
Correct.
Did you end up paying for the car?
He paid.
Just a second. That's either a yes or a no.
I made payments on the car, correct.
No. Did you pay for the car?
I made payments for the car.
Who else made payments for the car?
He made a large payment.
And how much was a large payment?
Without my knowledge, he
No,
made
just-
this payment.
just
I
a
don't know
second.
what I don't know
Just a
what the
second.
total of the
How-
payment was.
just
I
a
don't
s-
know what the total of the payment was.
Well, you had to have owed a lot of money.
It was about-
Just a second.
Okay.
Let's play.
Yep.
Not yup. That's a yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You had to have owed a lot of money on the car for your father to have made a large payment. And if what you're telling me is I don't know how much it is, then you're more irresponsible than your mother thinks you are.
Okay.
You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
You're 34 years. You have any more children?
No.
Just one?
Yes, ma'am.
On the way. So you're responsible enough to have a child. Then you should be responsible enough to know how much your father paid off on a car that he just co-signed for because you had bad credit.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He just did it because you would be without a car, and he would be without credit.
The car was not in risk of being taken away.
Well, then he just made you a gift? Is that what you're telling me?
That's the way it seemed to me.
Well, then he's a really nice guy.
And later today,
I yanked the little dog out of its mouth, and she kind of fell back down, and he decided to eat her up some more. And so I finally yanked her up, and she flew into my arms.
Miss Urell, it's not what you say in your complaint.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Janet King says ex-husband Paul King reached their agreement to help their son pay his rent during a time of need.
Now, how much was a large payment? How much?
$7,000.
So your father paid off $7,000, and he paid off $7,000 in about what year?
2018.
Is that because you asked him?
No.
He just did it because you would be without a car, and he would be without credit.
The car was not in risk of being taken away.
Well, then he just made you a gift, is that?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then he's a really nice guy.
I would not argue that.
Just a second, that he's a really nice guy.
Not
he paid
arguing.
off $7,000 to his 33-year-old son of a car that you were supposed to pay off. Then it sounds like he's a really nice guy.
Not arguing that.
Great. I'm glad you're not arguing that. Now you can sit down. Just want to let you know I'm not sympathetic. Your case is dismissed. We're done. So's your counterclaim. That's silly.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I hope everybody's happy.
He did not send me a text message saying he was not going to pay.
Just got to evaluate things as they come along.
He's a liar, and I have nothing to say to him.
I love him. I only wish the best for him.
I will not ever go and ask him anything in the future.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Urel versus Davis. Step forward.
Marlene Urel is suing William Davis for vet bills and punitive damages after his unleashed dog attacked her Pomeranian.
Ms. Urel, I don't know exactly what you're suing for. It's your claim that the defendant's dog bit your dog. You took the dog to the vet. The vet said your dog required certain treatment. You didn't have the money for the treatment. There was some sort of an arrangement reached with the vet that if you surrendered the dog would be rescued and that they would do the surgery. Before I even get to the substantive part of who initiated this biting, did you pay any vet bill?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to see what you paid and proof that you paid it.
May I approach? Sure.
No, give it to Bird.
Thank you.
What was the date of this alleged incident with the defendant's dog?
It was February 9th, 2019, at about 4:40 p.m.
Okay. So the first time you took the dog to the vet was 2 days later.
Yes.
This says that on the 11th, the dog was euthanized.
I took the dog to the veterinarian.
No, I'm just reading you what it says.
Yes.
And they charged $125 for that. And then it says refund Visa or MasterCard.
Yes.
Explain that to me.
The veterinarian, I took her into the veterinarian after she had survived the dog attack, but she was not walking. I took her to the veterinarian, and they said...
Don't tell me what they said.
Okay.
Just tell me what this is. Was the dog euthanized or not?
No, the dog was not euthanized.
Then...
Correct. I was refunded $125.
I only want you to tell me what you paid to the vet.
There was $88. It's on there. And there was also a $3 body disposal fee, which I was not refunded. But I was refunded the $125 because I couldn't, So I paid $88 for an urgent care and $3 for body disposal, but I was refunded $125 euthanasia.
I want you to show me from your Visa bill how much you actually paid the vet. I asked you, how much did you pay the vet? You sent me up these two bills. That's not true. You didn't pay the vet this money because it was refunded.
There should be 2 pages there.
I have 2 pages.
Okay.
You gave me both pages of money that you say you paid.
So the first...
And the first one you didn't pay because the dog wasn't euthanized.
I did pay it, but they refunded it to me. That's why it says
All I want to know is, from you, how much you paid the vet.
I paid the vet $91.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
February 9th, I took Spitzy outside. We were in a common area of my complex, sitting on a bench, not standing outside, not looking at the rain. You and your dog were, according to you, were sitting on a bench.
People, Judge Judy.
Marlene Urel says William Davis's unleashed dog attacked and mauled her Pomeranian.
Now, I'm ready to hear the story.
Okay, on February 9th, 2019, which was a Saturday, it had finally stopped raining where I live, and so my dog wanted to go for a walk. And she looked out the window and did her dance, just took her out for a walk.
Just tell me,
Okay.
your dog wanted to go out for a walk. You had gotten the dog a year before as a rescue, correct?
Correct.
And you took the dog out, and?
And we stood in front of my place about 6 feet from the stairs, and she was about 5 feet in front of me. When we were just standing there, you know, she didn't want to walk, she just wanted to enjoy, no rain, and I did too, and we were just standing there. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a flash of yellow scrabbling and crawling at the floor, and the next thing I knew, I didn't even see what happened. There was this dog, a yellow lab mix, and it was eating my little dog. And my little dog turned up and looked at me, and her little face was turned down so horribly. And I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even know what was going on in this place where there is never anyone, completely alone until then. And I started to scream and scream and scream. And I guess the dog just kind of looked at me, and then I yanked the little dog out of its mouth, and she kind of fell back down, and he decided to eat her up some more, so he was chewing her belly, and so I finally yanked her up, and she flew into my arms.
Okay,
and
it's not what you say, Miss Urell, it's not what you say in your complaint. The story that you just told me is not what you swore to in your complaint. I'm just telling you that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, February 9th, I took Spitzy outside. We were in a common area of my complex, sitting on a bench. That's the first paragraph of what you told me. Not standing outside, not looking around, not looking at the rain. You and your dog were, according to you, sitting outside in a common area. You were sitting on a bench.
You know what? Sometimes I would sit there, you know, with the dog, but I kind of thank God that I was not sitting there that day.
You want to tell me your version of what happened, Mr. Davis?
Yes, Your Honor. There is no bench in that common area, for the record. So what happened was her dog and she were there in the common area. I was around the corner playing with my dog. Her dog was barking, so my dog runs around the corner. I recall her. So I ran after my dog and come around to her dog biting my dog and my dog retaliating. And basically it's an 80-pound lab and a 10-pound Pomeranian. Didn't go very well for the little dog, and you know, it's not good. Well, that's what happened.
Yeah, you have to pay a vet bill.
Yes, I will gladly pay her vet bill.
Which she paid $91 for.
Yep.
You have to pay not $5,000, which is what she wants, but you have to pay her vet bill.
Yes.
Did you offer to pay her vet bill?
On numerous occasions.
And what did she say when you offered to pay her vet bill?
She said I owe her more than the $91 I owe her for her adoption fees and her vaccination costs.
$91. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm still amazed that people can lie in court and get away with it.
She has a history of suing people in our complex. This is what she does.
She would do bear dances. She would stand up and dance.
She didn't take the dog to the vet till almost 2 or 3 days later.
She would say things like, go out, love you.
Thankfully, the rescue adopted the dog, paid for the surgery, and somebody else owns it now.
I know for a fact, though, I paid her. Facts are right here. I can show you the facts.
Her pushy friend couldn't wait to repossess a car.
You didn't pay for periods of time, according to this.
I was...
You don't help me.
But you can only push so far.
Something wrong with you. I mean, are you trying to make the person who has to decide this case dislike you?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Paula Casso is suing her former best friend, Nicole Martinez, for the return or value of a Kia Soul and her personal belongings.
Order. All rise. This is case number 92 on the calendar in the matter of Casso versus Martinez.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Casso, you and the defendant were good friends for many years. According to your complaint, in 2016, Ms. Martinez bought another car. She had a car on which there was a loan. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You made an agreement with her in 2016, according to you, to take over payments on the car. You would pay for the car, pay for the insurance, and when the car was paid off, it would be yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the agreement?
No, ma'am.
That's baloney.
I'm sorry, but it's not. I have text messages. I have everything. I can show you what I have.
Okay, so what you're telling me is from 2016 to 2019, the plaintiff paid on the car. She was going to give the car back
Originally,
to you.
it was...
She was going to give the car back to you. I'm getting your position. She paid on the car, and your position is that your agreement with her was that she was going to pay on the car and pay for the insurance, but when the car was paid off, she was going to give it back to you.
She couldn't even pay the payment. She never made a payment. She never did it on time. She was constantly late.
That's not what I asked you. What I asked you was...
I let her borrow the car.
That's your position, that you let her borrow the car.
I felt bad for her. She's my best friend. I've done a million things for her. I can name them.
Miss Martinez, I just asked you a question. My question to you was, that's what you want me to believe, that she took the car.
No, ma'am, that's the truth.
That she took the car, she paid for the car, and at the end, when the car was paid off, she was going to give it back to you.
She didn't even make the payment. She was constantly behind. She was 3 months behind when I took it away.
Can I see
3 months behind.
Can I see the title to the car? Where's the title to the car?
The title is in my glove compartment. It's in the car that she has.
Can I see the title to the car?
It's not in the glove compartment. It's not there. I don't know what she did with it. I don't know if she stole it. I don't know what she did with it. The title is my name. The car's paid off. The loan is in my name. I'm not sure what else I need to show you.
I have text
messages. Just a second. It's very, very easy. The car was not in your possession. So May of 2016.
That's not true. September of 2016.
December of 2016.
September.
There's something wrong with you.
Probably.
I mean, are you trying to make the person who has to decide this case dislike you?
No, I would love for you to love me.
No, just a second. Is that what you're trying to do? You said to yourself, I'm going to make the jury who has to decide the facts in this case dislike me.
Your Honor.
Out. Out. You, out. Perfect. Was the car in your possession from December 2016 until March 23rd of 2019?
At times, yes, ma'am, it was.
Just a second. Tell me when that was. So far, I've May 2016 to March 2019. I would like you to tell me, I have a lot of papers there, in what period of time did you have physical possession of the car?
Multiple occasions.
No, that doesn't answer my question.
You want specific dates?
Yes, that's what I asked for. Specific dates when between December, she says May, say December of 2016 and March of 2019, you had possession of the car.
I don't have specific dates, Your Honor.
Okay. How much were the monthly payments? Who were they made payable to?
I sent her the money.
How?
At first, it was deposit in her account or cash, and then as of October 10 is where I would send it through the Wells Fargo.
October of what year?
Oh, 2017.
May I see the proof of payments from October 2017?
Your Honor,
I didn't ask you a question. Well, what I see here, Ms. Casso, is that you made payments, but they weren't always the $350 a month.
No, I was.
You didn't pay for periods of time, according to this, and then you would make up payments, or you'd pay $100.
Yes, ma'am. I was late sometimes, yes.
All the time.
And
I'm just trying to help you.
No, don't help me.
Okay.
Don't help me.
I won't help you anymore.
Don't help me.
Yes, ma'am,
I've been
I'm sorry.
doing this for 50 years. I don't need any help.
I'm sorry.
So it looks as if you were inconsistent with your payments.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the total number of payments that you made equaled the total that you put down here, $5,545?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
In months,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's $7,000. And according to you, giving you credit for everything that you have here, you paid $5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then you didn't pay what you were supposed to pay.
Could you repeat that?
You were supposed to pay $7,000, and you didn't.
From what date?
I'm giving you every benefit of the doubt. I'm saying it's from December.
You are.
You said it's from before that. Before that, it would be even more months.
Yes. Well, there are some that are missing because I paid her cash or deposited her to her account.
No, that's not true.
I'm just going from these dates.
True at all.
From the date you said you started to pay her, by transferring it, you were supposed to pay her $7,000. You only paid her $5,000.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. And she took the car back.
Yes.
And you had the car for over 2 years, right? According to you, you had the car 2.5 years.
Yes.
And all you put into the car in the 2.5 years that you can prove is $5,500.
Yes, because I opened that account in May of 2017.
All I'm telling you is you drove a car.
That's not
Consider it
true
this
either.
way. You didn't make all the payments you were supposed to make, and she repossessed the car. So I want you to figure it this way. If you rented a car for 2.5 years, you would have paid more than $200 a month for a car.
I know for a fact, though, I paid her.
According to
Facts
this.
are right here. I can show you the facts. Sorry, I'm just trying to show you.
If it wasn't sent through there, then I gave it to her. I have text messages proving that
Then
she
I'd
said
like
she would give me the
just a
title after I paid it off. We thought it was going to be paid off in May of 2018.
Again,
And
not
so she
true.
sent me that it was going to be like 5 more payments. And so then 5 more payments, that's when it was paid off. She said, give me $1,450 and I'll give you the title.
I'd like to see those text
I'd
messages.
like to see them too.
I'd like to see the text messages. And that was in November of 2018. You transferred $1,450 to her. I'd like to see the text message to her. If she says, send me $1,450 and I'll send you the title, then that makes it easy.
Your Honor, can I show you what I have that I actually paid?
No, not your turn yet. I'll tell you when it's your turn.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's in the papers I gave you.
Oh, well, you gave me more than I asked for.
Okay, so maybe they're in the back.
Sir, would you show this to the defendant, please? Her payment to you of $1,450 is reflected here 2 days later.
I agree.
Okay, and you told...
Say $1,450. This is just saying when you pay me in full. She hasn't paid for the vehicle.
No.
I'm paying $360 a month, and I can tell you what I'm
Listen.
paying $360 a month. She's paying what she assumes is full for her. So maybe it is in full for what she assumes she's doing. We never had an actual conversation. This is just
I
saying...
want you to read both pages of that text. You say to her, you owe me $1,450. You owed me $1,750. You paid $200, and then another $200. You owe me $1,450, and then you can have the title. 2 days later, she sent you $1,450. That was November 15th.
This page in the back does not say that.
Yes, it does.
It says $1,750.
Read on.
I just did.
No, just read on. Read where it says you owed me $1,750. You paid $200. You go through the numbers. Now you owe me $1,450.
Right, what she was behind in payments on, not in total in paying the car off full. The car, I paid $1,500 down, so I'm going to give her a free car. I'm going to let her pay the 1.5 years that I paid on it, and she's going to get a free car. She didn't pay me numerous times.
Well, just a second.
I'm paying $360 a month, and she's paying me $350. There's never a payment in full. That's what she owed me from behind, not paying me in full.
Can I have that, please? I want to see any payment that you made on the car after November of 2000. Listen to what I'm doing. No, you don't show me what I didn't ask for. You let me finish my payments that you made on the car after December of 2018. I just want you to show me any payment that you made on the car on or after December of 2018 after she sent you the $1,450. Just show me. Do you have any proof of payments of any payments?
Of course not, because it was paid off.
Do you have any proof of payments that you made on the car? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I am happy with the results, but I do wish I got my car back.
It's my car. My title, my car. It's very simple facts.
I guess it was just a altercation.
A physical altercation, Judge. Did you even hear anything about it?
Actually, she assaulted me first. I just defended myself.
Literally, altercation. There's everything. It's all here. And yeah, that's great.
Just an argument? I don't know.
Because she's a drunk idiot. Drunk idiot.
I have no idea. I guess she was never really a friend.
I don't know, but I'm glad that she's not my friend anymore. Very glad.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of King versus Willoughby. Step forward.
Nicole King is suing 25-year-old Rebecca Willoughby for the return of money she paid for a Toyota Solara.
Miss Willoughby, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Who do you live with?
2 years old, Your Honor.
When was she 2?
May 4th.
Did you ever live with her father?
Yes.
In what month and year?
2015.
Until when?
2017.
What month in 2017?
December.
What happened?
We separated.
Did you move or did he?
He did.
Where were you living in December of 2017? The address?
Tehachapi, California.
Address?
Campo Court, apartment A.
How long did you live there?
About a year.
Where are you currently living?
The same place.
Where were you working in 2017?
I worked at Arco gas station, and at the end of 2017, I was working at Albertsons.
Where are you working now?
Same place, Albertsons.
Since 2017?
I'm sorry, 2018.
I ask those questions because they become relevant to your case.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You received all of these money orders?
Yes.
And did you total all the money orders, Miss Willoughby?
No, I did not.
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't you total all the money orders? I would make you a pretty stupid person. And you explain to me why you did not give her what she bargained for.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Nicole King says Rebecca Willoughby owes for the return of money she paid for a car but never received.
According to your case, Miss King, you made an arrangement to purchase her car over a period of time. You gave her a deposit, and according to you, the arrangement was that you would pay the balance. I think the agreed-upon price was something like $3,500, and you would pay the car, and then you would get the car.
Correct.
And according to you, you made most of those payments, all except for one.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the arrangement was that you were supposed to meet at a mechanic, check over the car, to have it smogged and everything, and then
Yes, Your
give her the final payment, whatever that was. What was the final payment?
Just short of $50.
Can I see proof of the payments?
Absolutely.
And you received all of these money orders?
Yes.
And did you total all the money orders, Miss Willoughby?
No, I did not.
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't you total all the money orders? I would make you a pretty stupid person.
I would have totaled them at the time, but to my knowledge right now, I don't remember.
Well, if you don't remember, then I'm going to rely on her memory and the receipts. How much in total did you pay her?
I paid her $3,451.
That was in 2017.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then you said you couldn't find her.
I couldn't.
Well, she's been living at the same address.
She has. However, I had hired a process server.
For all intents and purposes, Miss Willoughby, the car was paid for. For all intents and pay attention to what I'm saying. For all intents and purposes, the car was paid for. I want to know, were you having a difficult financial time? Because she never got the car. You kept her almost $3,500, which was the purchase price of the car. And I want you to explain to me so that I'm going to understand it. Why? And if you tell me the truth, we won't have a problem. If you say a boyfriend left, I had no money, whatever it was, you want to explain to me why this person, who was a stranger to you, paid you the money, kept her end of the bargain with the exception of $50, and you explain to me why you did not give her what she bargained for. Go!
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Don't tell me what I'm not going to believe. You see, she doesn't look like a nut and say, well, I paid $3,450. I'm not going to give her the other $50 and she's not going to give me the car. You want to tell me what happened with her money and the boyfriend and your need for cash.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Nicole King says Rebecca Willoughby owes for the return of money she paid for a car but never received.
You explain to me why you...
Payment made was August 2017 for $300. She was supposed to pay the last payment and never did. She refused to pay me. Yes, I was going to...
Just a second. Let's go.
Ready for me? Okay.
I'm waiting for you.
No problem.
So far, we don't have an answer.
The last payment was made August.
I heard you.
She never paid me.
I heard you.
There was still an amount due.
I heard you. $50. Go. She's paid you $34.50. Go.
I wasn't going to give her the car if she didn't pay me the remainder.
Well, then what did you say to her?
I told her. I asked her.
Show me. Where
the
you
last
said.
Payment?
Show me. No. Show me where you said to her, if you're not going to give me the last payment, because, you know, there are certain things that are logical. Do you understand?
Yes.
Logical is when you've paid practically every penny for a car, that you agree to. You don't not get the car because of a $50 bill.
Of course.
You don't not get the car because of that unless something's happened to the car in the interim. Unless all the time she was giving you this money for the car, something happened to it, you spent it, the boyfriend took it, something happened to it. I want you to tell me, don't tell me what I'm not going to believe. You see, she doesn't look like a nut and say, well, I paid $3,450. I'm not going to give her the other $50 and she's not going to give me the car. That doesn't make sense. And if you want to tell me what happened with her money and the boyfriend and your need for cash.
Exactly how much do those money orders add up to?
$34.50.
Do they?
Yes.
Because the last payment on the car was $300.
$34.50. And you didn't keep track. Let's go. You took the money as she gave it to you, and you and the boyfriend spent it. That's what happened over whatever period of time. 2 months, 3 months. Now you spent it. And then you had no car if you gave her the car. You want to continue? Tell me a story that I believe.
The car got repossessed January 2018.
All right. There you go.
But it was one payment left on it for $300.
When you sold her the car and it had clearly a lien on it, or you took out a title loan on it.
And she knew it had a lien on it.
Don't tell me what was in her head, okay?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You sold her what kind of car?
A 2004 Toyota Solara.
And how much was the lien that was on it?
I don't recall at the time.
Just a second. Where did you think you were coming today? To the circus?
Definitely not.
Where did you think? You're not at a circus. So if you were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend, that's not her from line. You were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend.
But that's also not my fault that she didn't pay the rest of the money.
I find that she paid, she fulfilled her end of the contract, and you
I don't care if it's $50.
And you prevented her from getting her property.
No, she didn't pay the rest of the money. I'm not going to give her a car that she didn't pay for.
Okay. When the car was repossessed, how much money was left owed on it, and who was the lender?
One payment and me.
Well, you weren't the lender. Who was the lender on the loan? You were the obligor. Who was the lender? What bank? What financial institution?
Easy Auto Shop.
And when had you purchased the car?
2016.
What month in 2016?
I don't recall, Your Honor.
You don't recall a lot. Okay. You were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend. I don't know whether you're a bum too, but so far you owe her $3,441. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I told her the car wasn't paid off completely, so the amount that she gave me goes directly to the car.
I was not aware that she had a lien on the vehicle.
And as soon as it's paid off, she gets the car.
She was using the car for her disposal. She signed a contract.
Because in the agreement, it wasn't said that the car couldn't be driven.
She voided the contract.
So she didn't receive the car, and that's final.
You know, I don't really even want the vehicle. I just want the amount.
I said, I'll do it for your dog, not for you.
A sick pet wounds a friendship.
How much money did she pay for tests for your dog?
She donated money for a test.
I did not donate.
And a dog owner unleashes confusion.
I will get you the money.
That's not for my phone.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, here's what I do know.
No, just a second.
Can I show you a picture of the dog?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Karen Gallagher is suing her former friend, Paula Von Trias, for an unpaid loan to pay a vet bill.
Order. All rise. It's case number 82 on the calendar, the matter of Gallagher versus Von Trias.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Ms. Gallagher, it is your claim that the defendant owes you for a loan that you made to her for tests for an elderly dog that she had.
Correct.
Unfortunately, the dog, despite the fact that it had the test, Pat says it was never a loan. And because no good deed goes unpunished, the defendant is countersuing for $5,000 because she says that you harassed her and defamed her. Okay. What?
She threatened my life additionally. I filed a
You
police
had
report.
an old dog that needed tests.
No. My dog was 5 years old, 11 months. She got sick in June, where I took her to a vet and paid for all her expenses. I had her on a proactive, healthy plan, and
Did Miss Gallagher give you money for tests for your dog, or did she pay for tests for your dog?
She did not give me any money.
Listen to me carefully. Listen to my words. Did Miss Gallagher give you any money, or did she pay for tests for your dog? That was my question. That's either a yes or a no.
No.
So she did not pay for any tests for your dog.
She donated money for a test.
I did not donate.
Just don't answer her. Your dog, your tests. Now, how much money did she pay for tests for your dog?
I believe it was over $400 for 3 tests on the first occurrence.
She was a friend of yours?
She was a friend of mine.
Just a second. But she didn't live with you?
No.
So somehow she had to know that your dog needed tests because Karnak is no longer with us. You remember Karnak?
Johnny Carson.
Right. And so that somebody had to tell her that your dog needed tests. That's either a yes or a no.
Yes, it is.
Who told her?
I told her.
In a conversation on the phone or in person?
In person.
Stop. I'm not talking to you. On the phone or in person?
In person, I have a picture of it. Picture of her passed out in my house with my dog now at her feet, and that's when she learned about the test.
No, she doesn't learn. She doesn't learn. You told her that your dog needed tests. I want you to tell me about the conversation you had for the first time with a plaintiff about your dog's test and the fact that you didn't either have insurance or the money to pay for it. Go. What date?
On December 31st, I called Karen.
Good. That's a start. On December 31st, you called. Don't interrupt.
Okay.
On December 31st, you called Karen and said,
I have to figure out how to get Kenzie tested because the pre-arrangement that I made for her to be paid by my insurance that was paid fell apart.
So you called her and said, I have to figure out a way how to pay for Kenzie's tests.
That was it. And she said to me, will they take credit cards over the phone? I said, I don't know. She said, well, call them and call me back. I go, okay. So they do. She goes, give me the number. And that was it. That was it. And so a half hour later, I called down to the vet, and I said, did someone call about Kenzie at all? And she says, yeah, you're all set. Come on in. You want to make an appointment? I go, okay, thank you. That's what happened. There was no loan. I didn't have her credit card. She never gave me any money. There's no loan.
No, I'm not asking you whether she gave you money. I asked you at the beginning, did she either give you money or pay for tests for your dog? And the answer is yes, she paid for tests for my dog. And you say you picked up the phone and you called. Listen to me. Don't speak unless I'm talking to you. Okay. You called her up to ask her for money.
No, I did not.
Yeah, of course you did.
No.
Of course you did.
No, I did not.
Of course you did. You didn't call your butcher.
Excuse me,
you didn't call a grocer. You didn't call AT&T. You didn't call Geico. You called her. Listen to me. Listen to me. You called her and said, I don't know how I'm going to figure out how to pay for Kenzie's tests at the vet because because the insurance didn't. I get it. It's really a question of responsibility. It's your dog. You're a grown woman.
True.
You're a grown woman. You should be able to take care of your own dog.
And I did.
No, you didn't. She did.
No, she did not.
She did 400. She did 400.
I can explain things for you because it was a donation. May I also tell you what she said on the phone? On the phone, she said before I got off the phone with her, she said
I was at her house.
I don't want you to speak.
Okay.
On December 31st, I was in my house. She was in her house. That's the fact. The other issue, she said, this is my cause. This is what I do. I donate to dogs. I love Kenzie. That was part of the call that I had with her when I first told her I was baffled why the insurance didn't get handled. And when I know 2 days later after the test, the lady who was handling it committed suicide.
Did anybody else help contribute to your dog's health care?
I did. For everything. No.
Other than you?
No.
Other than you
No.
and the plaintiff, did anybody else contribute to your dog's health care?
No.
The answer is either yes or no.
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 And there were more bills. So after that test, the vet couldn't figure out why my dog...
Don't tell me what the vet couldn't figure out.
Okay,
I'm not interested in hearsay. I'm only interested in this. So what you're telling me is Miss Gallagher was the only person, other than you, who took care of your dog.
She didn't take care of my dog.
Well, she did. She took care of $481 worth of bills.
Minus $60 that I paid that was applied to that bill.
So what?
But there was more tests after that. That first vet told me my dog needed an ultrasound, referrals, because I didn't get any, and I got 3 referrals. So I found another vet who works with the nonprofits. She's at a nonprofit. She works, and she agreed to take my insurance. So everything after that.
So what?
And my dog was diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease and very, very sick. And she was 5 years old and 11 months, and she was taken care of well by the second vet.
Ms. Ventrace, it's just a question of whether you're going to pay for your own dog or she's going to pay for your own dog. Now, I'd like you to tell me your version of the conversation that you had with the defendant when you found out that her dog needed these tests.
It was the night of December the 30th. I actually went over to her house, and we were discussing it, and she started crying, and she's saying that she's broke and she can't afford it. She needed the test done the next day, the 31st. So it's on my credit card. I called the next day.
What I want to hear is the conversation that I believe.
I said, Paula, you know that I never, 2 things I don't do in life. I don't borrow money and I don't lend money. I said, no, you know, it's really, this goes against my better judgment. I said, but I'll do it for your dog, not for you.
This is not true.
I don't want to hear you.
Okay. Just letting you know.
This is true. It's totally true.
Let's go back.
So I went home. I told her, I said, look, I said, if I do this.
If it goes against my better judgment.
To do this, because.
It goes against my better judgment.
I know that it creates, money becomes between friends. So the next morning she called me. She goes, I'm going to bring Kenzie in. She goes, are you still going to do what you're going to do? And
That's
I said,
not true, sir.
It is totally.
What part of I don't want to hear? You
sure.
Now,
I'm sorry.
Didn't you understand?
I did understand.
Well, you didn't understand the first time or the second. I yelled at her the same way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So the next morning she called and said, do you want to do what you said you would do? And I said, do what? And she said, you know, and I said, oh, I said, pay for the test for Kenzie.
Do what you said you were going to do, and?
Meaning pay for Kenzie's test so I can take her into the vet.
And?
So I said, I'm on my way out the door. I said, how about if I just use my credit card over the phone? And she goes, oh, will they do that? I said, who wouldn't do that? And so I called the VCA, and I paid it over the phone with my credit card. And then she called me back that afternoon and was all happy. It was December the 31st. We did see each other that night. The credit card charge hit my bill on January the 2nd because of the holiday. So she said she'd repay me, but she would back it up with the insurance check, which she was going to expedite. Now, I did research, and I know that pet insurance companies pay their claims within 10 days, 20 days tops. The dog died February 17th. I lent her the money on December 31st. She never made any attempt to pay me anything.
When for the first time did you ask her for the money?
I asked her several times over the phone, and then I have a couple of texts here.
Well, the dog died in February?
February 17th in my arms.
On the 29th of January, she says, you need to pay me back. And you said, I will when I get the money. Are you okay?
That's not from my phone.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, here's what I do know.
No, just a second.
Can I show you a picture of the dog?
I don't care to see the dog. I'm telling you, all of this is from your phone.
Can I share something here?
I'm just telling you
from Dave,
that on
I
January...
actually have text from her, too.
January... Well,
I
show
have
me.
text from her that say...
Just all you...
I have many texts from her to explain the storyline. Thank you. Okay.
All I can tell you is you said to her when she said, you need to pay me back, and that was a month later, you said to her, I will when I get the money. Are you okay?
I have a phone, and I have texts, and that's not on my phone. I'm sorry.
It's on my phone.
But what I do know, in the beginning, there was no loan.
$481. That's who she owes you. Let us go to...
I actually have...
Let us go to...
Excuse
let
me.
Us go to,
I have witnesses here that they can prove it's a donation. This is Arlene. Could she speak?
Do you want to see the text? Do you want to see it before you testify? Do you want to see it?
I'd like to. But Judge Judy, could I ask a question?
No.
I'm home afterwards, and she said to me, Paula, I love Kenzie. You don't have to pay me any money. It's a gift. It's a gift.
$481.
And she's a witness to it because she said it to her as well.
Let's move on.
I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
I have a witness here.
Your counterclaims have the insurance money by
do you want me to hear any part of your counterclaim, or do you want me to just throw you out?
Can my witness speak because she came up for it, please?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
I mean, there has to be a reason why somebody is moving out after they spend the time to move in, spend 2 days moving in, and in less than 15 days, she says, you're miserable. I'm moving out. Why do you think that she did that, Mr. Butcher?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Karen Gallagher says her former friend, Paula Von Triez, owes for a loan to pay a vet bill. Paula is countersuing for threats, harassment, and defamation of character.
What I'm telling you is on the 29th of January, you said, I will pay you back as soon as I get the money. That's what you said to her. Now, the dog may have died in February, and everybody's very emotional in February when the dog died. But in January, before the dog died, you said to her, I will pay you back when I get the money. That's what you said to her.
Oh, everything that she said about the...
$481.
Excuse me,
Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Please? Judge Judy, I have evidence.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, it was absolutely correct. It was a loan to begin with, and I can't believe she turned it around and tried to turn it into a donation.
My witness here heard her say it was a donation.
I might have sent a text where it was out.
All the slander, harassment, and bullying that she did to me and the threat of my life.
You know, an empty threat just because I was so upset because she refused to pay me.
I should have trusted my first instinct, and she has a pretty good reputation in town.
That's what she does. That's her MO.
Right.
She doesn't work. She just tries to, take money from people.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Christensen versus Butcher. Step forward.
23-year-old Brianne Christensen is suing her former landlord, Joel Butcher, for the return of her deposit and personal property, and for lost wages.
Miss Christensen, you rented a loft from Mr. Butcher. He lived in the apartment as well. You just rented a loft, sleeping loft. You had kitchen privileges, I assume? That would be a yes. And you rented this place and gave him a deposit, moved in the end of March?
Yeah, March 28th.
Now, when you moved in, you moved your clothes?
I
don't need a whole story. You moved in your clothes?
Yes.
You moved in your shoes?
Yes.
You moved in your toiletries?
Yes.
Did she move in with boxes?
Yes.
I'm looking at him now.
She did.
She moved in with boxes. It was furnished, so she didn't need furniture.
Correct.
Who lived there before?
The previous tenant was a gentleman by the name of Avery.
And how long was Avery there?
Approximately 2 months.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Butcher?
I wait tables. I'm in the service industry in Park City, Utah, and then I also have a tree company that I run during the summer.
And she moved in all this stuff. Did she have a moving company, or did she do it herself?
She did it herself.
And how long did it take her?
2 to 3 days. And I believe the actual date was March 26th.
But it took her 2 or 3 days to move in.
Correct.
Mr. Butcher, why do you think somebody takes a loft, spends 2 days moving, schlepping her stuff into that loft? Requires a ladder to get up there, right?
Correct.
So she's got to take clothes, books, whatever. Why do you think someone would move out after a month?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She paid you $1,200 when she moved in. Did you forget that?
It was first and last
Is there
month's rent.
something? Is there something wrong with your brain,
No, it was never deposited. It was first and last month's rent.
Mr. Butcher?
Yes.
You've been spending too much time in Park City.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
23-year-old Brianne Christensen is suing her former landlord, Joel Butcher, for the return of her deposit and personal property, and for lost wages.
Why do you think someone would move out after a month if they were normal? She doesn't look abnormal. I say to myself, she wanted a place to live. She got a place to live. She gives you a deposit. She pays her rent, right? Why do you think she was so unhappy that she packed everything up, gave you notice that she was moving out? She didn't give you 30 days notice, but she told you before that she was moving out, and you actually found she moved out in May, right?
Correct, May 19th.
And she paid you prorated rent for the 19 days, correct?
No, not correct.
How much did she pay you?
It was
in May?
In May, nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Did you pay him anything for May?
Yes. I paid him $368 for the prorated rent, and I paid him $38 for our half of utility.
Did you pay him check or cash?
I paid him with a money order.
Do you have a copy of that?
Yeah. Here's the money order for the month of May. And here's my deposit for April.
$368 she paid you. June what?
June 1st.
How much was her deposit?
There was no deposit.
How much was your deposit?
$600.
She paid you $1,200 when she moved in. $600 for rent and $600 deposit. Did you forget that?
It was first and last
something?
month's
Is there something wrong with your brain?
No, it was never a deposit. It was first and last month's rent, as it was stated in the ad. It was never a security deposit. There was no attachment, whether it be
Mr.
refunded.
Mr. Butcher.
Yes.
You've been spending too much time in Park City.
Maybe so. It's a nice place to spend some time.
It's a nice place. When you're 25, you've been spending a lot of time in Park City. Why did you move out after a month? You want to tell me? I don't care if she embarrasses you. She said that you had random people over there all the time. They left the door open all the time. That's why she moved out. There has to be a reason why somebody is moving out after they spend the time to move in, spend 2 days moving in, and in less than 15 days, she says, you're miserable. I'm moving out, and I'm going to pay you for the 19 days that it takes me to find someplace else to live, but I can't live here anymore. Why do you think that she did that, Mr. Butcher?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to Judge and follow us on Twitter.
How old are you?
46.
You have to give her her deposit back. You knew you were moving. That would be a yes.
Yes.
You planned on moving.
Yes.
I want you to explain to me why you didn't move with your, what you say, missing, your iPhone, your passport, your birth certificate, your social security card. What possible use does he have for your passport, your birth certificate, your social security card?
I was in such a hurry to move that I missed a few items, and they're still at his house. But when I came...
Do you have her passport, her social security card? Do you have that in your house?
I do not. She actually contacted my current roommate and made arrangements to retrieve those items.
I still have not been able to retrieve them.
Did you contact the new roommate?
I tried to, yes.
Did you speak to the new roommate?
Yes. She wasn't able to find them.
So he wasn't able to find them. He doesn't have them.
I still believe they're there because I moved in with those items. And when I moved out, I didn't have them.
Well, you have to keep more careful track of your items. You knew you were moving for at least 3 weeks. It would suggest to me that those things you would take, a passport, your social security card, and certainly your iPhone. Goodbye, $600. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Are you excused? You may...
And on the next Judge Judy.
I can't prove that anything was taken, and that's fine.
I definitely believe we entered into agreement first and last month's rent. She broke the agreement.
People coming in and out of the house, just sketchy behavior, coming home intoxicated.
I have a 100-pound Rottweiler. People aren't coming and going.
Dealing cocaine in his kitchen when I was cooking my food.
At my age, former firefighter, cocaine isn't my thing.
I'm just glad to be out of there.
I did go back to his house when he chose to get vulgar with me and aggressive.
How many times have you been arrested?
4 times, ma'am. An online connection immediately crashes.
This is somebody that you know for 24 hours.
Yes, I felt comfortable with him at the time.
Evidently, you had bad judgment.
And his new connection hopes for a reboot.
He served jail time for domestic violence. What makes you think that you're going to be any different?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
24-year-old April Krenke is suing her ex-boyfriend, Tyler Milligan, for the unpaid balance on a truck he forced her to co-sign.
It's case number 105 on the calendar, the matter of Krenke versus Milligan.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Krenke, this is your case. You allege that sometime in February of this year, you met the defendant online. You met him online. He came. You had your first meeting in person on February 20th. You liked him. You lived with your 1-year-old daughter, and he stayed the night. You claim the next day he kidnapped you and forced you to co-sign for a truck that he wanted. And you did co-sign for the truck. According to you, while you didn't see him again, you kept in touch with him because you were hoping that he'd make the payments on the truck. And now you're stuck because your name is a co-signatory on a loan.
That is not entirely correct, Your Honor.
Well, then let's have it Did you meet him on February 20th?
I met him on February 20th.
And he came to your house?
Yes, ma'am. He came to my house.
And he spent the night?
And he spent the night, yes.
And
then from there, we decided that I knew I'd have to bring him back to his house. So I'd bring him back to his house the next day, and I would stay the night because I had to work the following day.
So the next night, you were going to stay at his house?
Yes, ma'am.
With your daughter?
Yes.
Now, this is somebody that you know for 24 hours?
Yes, I felt comfortable with him at the time, and
evidently you had bad.
I also have my witness here that was with me on the very first day when Tyler came to my house, and then she was also there the following night when I did go back to his house when he chose to get vulgar with me and aggressive. And she has a restraining order on him also as well. As far as like the vulgar and the aggressiveness.
Just a second. Can I see a police report?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Milligan, how old are you, sir?
26, ma'am.
How many times have you been arrested?
4 times, ma'am.
Last time was when?
I was just released on June 8th of this year.
What was your conviction?
Restriction of a 911 call in domestic.
Domestic abuse?
Yes, ma'am.
How many of the 4 arrests were as a result of domestic abuse?
Just 2.
And you're 26 years old.
Yes,
was it
ma'am.
with the same woman or different women?
Different.
How long was the last time that you spent in jail?
39 days was the longest I've ever spent.
Did any judge ever direct you to anger management?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever have to pay a fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the plaintiff says that the witness who's sitting here to her right has a restraining order against you. Do you know who she is?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a hearing on that restraining order?
No,
Have
ma'am.
you been to court? Have you been to court?
No, ma'am, I have not.
So she got this restraining order on her own, without you?
Yes.
Were you served with the restraining order?
No, ma'am.
Did you default in appearance on that? Well, when is the return date?
I have no idea.
Well, you were served with it.
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan, when you're served with a restraining order, it's a temporary restraining order because it's given to you what they call ex parte, which means only the witness, whoever it is, goes in and asks for it, and you are entitled to have a hearing on it. They gives you a return date. You don't know what that return date is?
No, ma'am.
What's the return date?
It was 20 days after the fact of that he could have gone to court otherwise.
Did you get a default judgment?
Yep.
Did you go? Not yep.
I did not have to go to court. They just automatically signed the restraining order.
May I see it? Were you dating him?
At one point, him and I did date, yes.
Just a second. So this is when you were dating?
No, we were roommates. So
But you dated? You had an intimate... And now you're her roommate?
Nope, I don't live with her. Her and I are friends now.
Okay,
I live
sit
up
down.
with my boyfriend.
Sit down. Sit down. You filed this report about a week later.
He knew where I lived.
You filed this report about a week later, February 28th. You spoke to the police officer.
I was scared for my safety and my daughter's safety. He does know where I live, and I was afraid of the retaliation that
Did you make an application to any court for a protective order?
I did not at the time.
At any time?
I have not.
Where's the truck?
It's sitting at Porter Service.
What is it doing there?
Waiting to be fixed. The wheel bearing had went out previously, and also the brakes. Once I got served the paperwork, I still work in the process of working on it. I've got parts en route to fix it. After I got served with the paperwork, after reading what was served to me when I was incarcerated.
Why did you think that she co-signed for this vehicle for you?
So that way I could come back and forth to see her, also for work purposes also.
She knew you for 2 days. What is wrong with you?
Nothing, man. We were previously talking about it. So when she came down to the house, we set up a negotiation about it.
There's no negotiation. I don't understand you. Who is that?
That's my wife.
"26 years old, and he's had 2 protective orders in domestic violence cases and served jail time for domestic violence. What makes you think that you're going to be any different?
I don't. I just trust him. I don't.
You think all these people are crazy? You think all these women are crazy?
No.
How much was this truck?
Altogether, $9 grand. That's with tax, title, and license.
In whose name is the truck?
Hers.
Whose?
April's.
Is the truck in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
Go get it. Go get it.
I'm actually filing for the
Go get it.
$5,000 amount.
I don't care what you're suing for.
Because I don't want the truck
I'm telling
broken.
I'm telling you, go get the truck.
It's broken.
I'm telling you, go get the truck. Telling you to go get the truck. I will prepare the order. Now you know where it is. She's going to get the truck. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you interfere with that, she's going to have a copy of this tape. You're going to get arrested again. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And she can't say, well, they don't understand him, you know, and I trust him, because everybody trusts me. She's going to get the truck, and then she's going to sell it. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
If I may add, I do have receipts for 2 parts that I have bought previously.
I don't give a rat's behind what you have receipts for. She's going to get the truck, and she's going to sell it, and hopefully get a lot more than $5,000. It's her truck, and she's going to get it. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me the name of the place where it's currently sitting.
Porter Service.
Very good. We'll contact them and let them know that they're not to release it to you.
That would be great.
No, you can't go near the truck.
Also,
You can't go near the truck. Do you understand?
Yes.
Perfect.
Ma'am, what about like the towing fees, because the truck is broke down right now? Like, if the truck has to be towed from where it's at currently now?
I don't deal in ifs. I'm giving you the truck back that was $9,000.
What about the damage?
You're suing him for $5,000. He just bought the truck in February. You're going to be able to sell it for more than $5,000. I would even invest a couple of bucks in fixing it if I were you, so you can sell it or keep it. Go get the truck. It's yours.
Okay. Yes, sir.
He's not going to touch it.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I have absolutely no feelings towards him. I have never had any feelings for him.
But just to go see each other so that way we can still date and stuff, but...
He is manipulative, vulgar, and just horrible of a person.
She wasn't looking for what I was, and so moved on to bigger and better things.
I feel bad for his new wife, to be completely honest. I am not jealous of her.
She was just looking for a hookup, and I wanted marriage and settled down, and here we are.
By any means, I am just completely sorry for her and for her new man.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Dilla versus Waldrop. Step forward.
Andrew Dilla are suing Justin's former friend, 20-year-old Michaela Waldrop, for vehicle expenses and the removal of Justin's name from a title.
Mr. Dilla, you're his father.
Correct.
How old are you?
20.
You have a job.
Yes.
And who do you work for?
Chipotle?
You've been working there for a while?
Yeah, a little over a year.
What do you do?
I'm a kitchen manager.
You have a salary check.
No, it's by the hour.
But you get paid?
Yeah.
Yes. That would be yes. And what do you do?
I just got recently hired as a cashier.
And before that, what did you do?
I was a cashier at Chipotle.
That's how you met each other. And you dated for a while. Terrific. And you wanted a car.
Yes.
And you had saved up for a down payment.
Yes.
How much?
$2,600 in total.
How much did you put down on the car?
$2,600 in total.
Instead of buying, you know, a car for $2,600, you wanted a new car, newish car. And you couldn't get any credit.
Yes.
So this 20-year-old, because he didn't work for the same place, some bank said, okay, if you co-sign for her, now I've got 2 people on the hook. We'll give her the loan.
Yes.
And the car is in whose name?
It's in both of our names.
And you were dating at the time?
Yes.
Can I see the title?
Your Honor?
What?
The title's not available because it's still being financed.
I want to see the title to the car. Somebody should have a title that says lien on it.
So we have the refinance paper.
Original title from Exeter Finance.
All right, so nobody has a title.
The finance company has the title.
Great. How much is left on the loan?
$10,285 last time I checked.
And who has the car? You do.
I do.
Great. And neither of you were going to be let off this loan because that would be stupid of the loan company because now they have 2 people to go against, right?
Right.
And you have the car. What do you want me to do?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You were the dumb one who led to the friends who got pulled over and the car was impounded because they found drug paraphernalia in the car. Does anybody have a police report for me to look at? I'd like to take a look at it.
Your
Put your
Honor?
hand down.
Oh, sorry.
Put your hand down. Listen, you can't help it if you raise stupid.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Justin Dilla says former friend Michaela Waldrop owes for damage and impound fees for a car he co-signed for.
Bottom line was you had the car, you broke up, According to him, you lent the car to somebody.
Yes.
And that was a friend of yours, and they got pulled over for some sort of drug infraction and looking for drugs. What's the name of the genius who you lent the car to?
The friend is Izzy, and actually, the car was reported stolen.
Well, if it was reported stolen, they wouldn't have torn it apart looking for drugs. Was there drug paraphernalia found in the car?
Not to my awareness, no.
Not to your knowledge?
Yes.
Not that you are aware of?
Yes.
Right. On what date was the car loaned to your friend?
February 12th.
And you had had the car for about a month at that
Yes.
time. And you had already broken up with him.
No, we were still together up until February.
Well, February 12th, when you loaned the car to the friend.
Yes.
What was the friend supposed to do with the car?
He was going to go get food and run to his house. I had constant location of him because I had an update.
He was supposed to go get food?
Yes.
All right. And who was he with?
He was with his friend.
He was
who
with
actually
another...
I knew him too.
He was with another friend. And on February 12th, were you and Mr. Dallas still a couple?
No.
When had you broken up?
Yes.
When had you broken up?
Sorry. Around February 2nd.
Who went to get the car from impound? Does anybody have a police report for me to look at? I'd like to take a look at it. Put your hand down.
Oh, sorry.
Put your hand down.
Okay.
Listen, you can't help it if you raise stupid.
I have the receipts right here from the getting it out of impound.
I want to see a police report.
Oh, we weren't able to get a police report unless we had a subpoena for it.
Let me see the date of impound. You picked up the car from impound?
Correct.
And you have the car?
Correct.
And you're paying for the car?
Correct.
Actually, I paid for April.
Who cares? You were the dumb one who led to friends who got pulled over, and the car was impounded because they found drug paraphernalia in the car. So I don't care if you paid April. What do you want?
If I were to...
You got stuck.
Yeah.
With paying for the car. Are you driving it?
No, I'm not.
Is it insured?
It's the registration...
Is it insured?
No, it's
now,
not.
Well, you know you have to have it insured by the loan company.
Okay.
Just what do you mean, okay? Is the car insured?
The car is not insured, never was insured, and the defendant did not insure the car when she took it off the lot.
Listen, that's stupid's fault.
Right. Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When you loaned the car to these two idiots,
yes,
did it have damage on it?
Yeah.
Did it have damage on it?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Justin Dilla says former friend Michaela Waldrop owes for damage and impound fees for a car he co-signed for.
Is the car insured?
The car is not insured, never was insured, and the defendant...
Stupid's fault.
Right. We were trying to sell the car. We wanted to get monies to be able to pay off the loan and fix the damage that are currently on the car. The car has currently damages on it worth about $5,000.
I'd like to see the damage to the car. Now, unless you can explain to me how the car got damaged.
I was aware.
The two of you broke up in February.
Yes.
On February 12th, you loaned the car to two people, and on February 14th, the plaintiff got the car out of impound by the police.
Yes.
Now, when you loaned the car to these two idiots,
Yes.
did it have damage on it?
Yeah.
Did it have damage on it?
Yes.
What kind of damage did it have on it?
The mirror was missing, and the back tail light was broken.
How did that happen?
Honestly, I don't know, because woke up one morning, went out to my driveway, and saw it was like that. I thought someone came and actually...
On what date did you find damage?
January 26th.
So on January the 26th, according to you, you and the plaintiff were still a couple because you said you were still a couple in February. That's
Yes.
what you told me a while ago.
Yes.
So while the car was in your possession, it had a missing mirror
Yes.
and a broken taillight.
Yes.
But it didn't have all this other damage.
Not that I know.
Not when you loaned it to
Yes.
your two friends.
Yeah.
So it didn't have all this damage.
No.
Is this the way you retrieved the car from impound?
Yes. And...
Who was there with you when you took it out of impound?
My dad.
You were there?
Yes.
When the car came out of impound?
Yes.
When did you take that video?
That day.
And that's the way it looked?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Do you have an estimate on how much it will cost to fix that car?
I was given a
No, the answer is either yes or no.
verbal, so
Well, you can't tell me what somebody else told you.
then no.
Well, I need an estimate because she's responsible for that. You know, she's an idiot and she's not going to pay for this car and she's not going to get it if you were on the title to the car.
Correct.
The car was damaged. If you have to sell it, which you clearly do, you have to sell it, and in order to sell it, it has to be repaired. And if I don't have an estimate, I'm going to have to back this up a different way. Bird, would you look up the Blue Book value of a 2015 Mazda 3 Sport?
$10,056.
Well, most of the loan is remaining, and what you're asking for, actually, is $3,259, which I assume is the money that you have so far invested in the car, making the payments so that it wouldn't be repossessed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, that's certainly far less than what you can get if you sold it. And based upon that, you couldn't get anywhere near $10,000 if you had to sell the car this way. You have a counterclaim.
Yes, I do.
It's dismissed. If you can't afford a car, don't buy it.
Actually, I was not allowed to make the first car payment.
If you can't afford a car, don't buy it.
Oh, I was
And
able to
don't-
afford it.
No, you couldn't afford it because the credit score that you had was insufficient for a $10,000 loan. So you couldn't. And then once you had it, and since you really weren't on the hook for it yourself and you had no job, because at the time you lost your job, you were in between jobs.
Yes.
Yes, and you to sell, transport, do whatever they were doing with drugs. In any event, there was paraphernalia found in the car. $3,200, judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done here. By the way, we're withholding your money until you sign over the title to him. Thank you. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I didn't directly report it stolen. All I said is I did not give anyone permission
Because my friend let Justin know he was driving the car.
to drive the car because I was unknowing of what she had done with the car.
And Justin did not like that friend very well, so he reported it stolen.
She got fired for no-call, no-shows
And I need it, and it's been hard without one. I've lost many opportunities.
due to her letting them use the car.
I get my car back, and they accept my refinancing.
I was young and dumb. Don't co-sign for a significant other.
And I could do it today. If not, then car's yours.
Buy your own car if you can afford it.
Who threw the rock?
I don't know.
Two boys caught in a fib.
Whatever it is, it's not a big deal that it happened. It's just a big deal if you lie about it.
But who will fess up first?
His grandma said, you better tell the truth.
He threw the rock.
Well, he said he didn't.
I'm just telling you he did.
You seen him throw it?
I don't have to see.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Susan Corso is suing her neighbor, Keena Payton, for damage caused to her vehicle when her son threw a rock at it.
Order. All rise. It's case number 69 on the calendar in the matter of Corso versus Payton.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Everybody have a seat.
Miss Corso, it is your claim that the defendant's little boy, that's this little boy over here, damaged your car by throwing a rock.
Yes.
And you didn't see that.
No, I did not.
So I assume that the little boy who's sitting here, who also lives in your neighborhood.
Next door.
He came and told you that it had happened.
Actually, no one came and told me. I heard it, but my husband was ill, so I didn't go out. But I did go.
I don't care.
I did go 2 days later, and we talked to Jake.
I don't need a whole story. Here, you didn't see anything happen to your car.
No.
There was a dent or something in your car.
Yes.
Did you notice it the same day?
No, I
Now,
didn't.
at that time that you spoke to this young man.
Yes, Your Honor.
And this young man, and I will get to him in a second, told you that he saw the defendant's son throw a rock that hit your car.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then he tried to fix it.
Yes.
And he tried to fix it to make it better.
Yes.
And maybe it made it better, and maybe it didn't make it better. Mrs. Payton says her son never threw a rock at your car. The incident happened on what, well, why don't you step up here? You're Jake?
Yes.
You live next door?
Yes.
On what date did you allegedly see Mrs. Payton's son throw a rock at Miss Corso's car?
Sunday.
It was on a Sunday.
Yes.
And did you look?
It was a Thursday.
Thursday.
I don't want you to say anything to him. You're not the witness. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's my job to test his memory.
Okay.
You don't have to help him. It was on what time?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what month it was in?
No.
Do you remember what time of the day it was?
No.
Was it in the morning? Was it in the evening? Was it daytime or was it nighttime?
It was in the middle between daytime and nighttime.
What's that?
Evening.
How old are you?
12.
Well, a 12-year-old knows time. You know whether it's dark out or light out or dusk, where it's in between, where it's almost dark. What time?
All in front of my yard.
Who was in front of your yard?
Me, Kyle, and this other girl named Jordan.
And the three of you have been playing for how long?
Not much.
What were you playing?
We weren't playing anything.
Why don't you tell me what you saw?
So this is what I saw. The girl.
Don't look over there. Look here.
The girl wrote Kyle's girlfriend on the rock.
Over here.
So on the rock, it said Kyle plus Madison, which I supposedly was his girlfriend. And he got mad, picked up the rock and threw it and hit her car in the rear.
He got mad because he wasn't the boyfriend?
I have no clue why he got mad.
Okay. And who wrote on the rock?
This girl, Jordan.
And was the rock that she wrote with the rock that he picked up, or was it a different rock?
It's the rock that she wrote with.
What did you say to him?
I didn't say anything to him.
Now, he threw the rock, and what happened when he threw the rock? Did you hear something, or did you see something?
It was a loud, I heard and saw, it was a loud bang, and there's like a big dent in the back.
In the back where?
Near the rear.
So what did you do?
We all ran.
Why did you run?
Because it made a loud bang.
Well, if it made a loud bang, and you all ran, but you first stopped to look at the car.
We ran first, and then we came back to
run to
Jordan's house.
And when did you come back?
5 or 10 minutes later.
And did you come back with anybody, or did you come back by yourself?
I came back by myself.
And when you came back by yourself, is that when you looked at the car?
Yes.
And so, now, you didn't do anything.
Yes.
You ran away.
Yes.
Then you came back.
Yes.
You looked at the car.
Yes.
You saw a dent.
Yes.
And when you went inside to your house?
Yeah, I had to go inside.
Because?
Because my uncle saw the big dent in the back, so he called me in to go inside.
Do you live with your uncle?
No, he's visiting.
Who else was in the house?
Just my uncle.
Did you tell your uncle what happened?
Yes.
Right away?
Yes.
The same day?
Yeah.
Who else lives in the house with you?
My grandma and my brother and my sister.
Was your grandma out?
Yeah, she was at work.
When she came home, did you tell her what happened?
Yes.
Did you tell her?
Yes.
The same day?
Yes.
And you live right next door?
Yes.
How many days later did you find out about this?
2 days.
2 days. And how did you find out about it 2 days later?
I was going out to take my husband back to the doctor.
You were going out?
I went out and to get in the driver's side and looked back and saw the big dent.
And then what did you do?
We went next door and asked Jake.
Just a second. Then you went next door.
Inside.
So you knocked at the door?
Yes.
And who came to the door?
Jake and his grandmother.
And I'd like you to tell me the conversation that you had.
I told Jake, I said, we just found a big dent in our car. Do you know how it happened? And his grandma said, you better tell the truth. And his
grandmother said,
you better tell the truth.
And?
So Jake said...
He told you this story?
He came on and told us that story.
He told you this story. Did his grandmother say she already knew?
No, she didn't. She didn't say one way or the other, no.
Well, but according to Jake, she already knew.
Later on...
According to Jake, she already knew.
She did.
She knew 2 days in advance. So she knew 2 days in advance because... According to Jake, he had told her, why wouldn't she come over and tell you?
She explained that she knew we would be coming and knocking on her door any minute, and that as soon as we came knocking, he would tell us
that was
what
honest. That was honest. Not. Go down. First name?
Kyle.
You remember that day?
Yes.
Who threw the rock?
I don't.
And according to him, all three of you sort of ran away after it was thrown. So don't look down here. Let's still look here, and let me try to explain to you. Whatever it is, it's not a big deal that it happened. It's just a big deal if you lie about it. Got it?
Yes.
Great. Who threw the rock?
I don't know.
Well, that I don't believe. How are you going to convince me that that's true? It's your job to convince me that that's true that you don't know, because I don't believe you. Okay, you can go down. He threw the rock.
Well, he said he didn't.
I'm just telling you he did.
You seen him throw it?
I don't have to see him throw it. That's my job. That's what I do for 50 years.
Okay.
I just looked in his eyes, and I'm telling you he threw the rock. It's not a big deal. Okay. It's not a big deal. Kids do that all the time. The big deal is for him not to tell the truth about it.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I don't necessarily believe him either.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
Because I'm not so sure that what happened is he tried to fix it.
Right.
He touched it before he showed you. That's what he told you. Is that right?
Yes.
And I don't know whether his touching it made it better or made it worse. Who knows? Do you know?
I wasn't there, no.
By the way, stand up over there.
My hand.
Tell me how you did that.
I put my hand in the car and tried to
Banged
push
it?
No, I tried to push it out.
And did you?
A little bit.
Sit down. Miss Corso, I don't necessarily believe either one of them, but I don't think you've sustained your burden of proof to me, which is even by a preponderance of the evidence that Miss Payton is responsible for your car. You got a ding in your car?
Yes.
You got a ding in your car? It happens. But I'm not satisfied that I can feel comfortable making Miss Payton pay for it. I don't know how much of the dent was caused by a 12-year-old trying to fix it. 12-year-old trying to fix it, telling his grandmother the same day that it happened, and his grandmother didn't come to you, but her answer to you was, I knew you'd be knocking at my door. How long has she been your neighbor?
Probably 20 years.
Not a good lesson. We're done. Case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, it was honest and fair.
My son said he didn't do it. I believe he didn't do it.
We tried to talk to him, but they wouldn't even give me their name, so.
It could have been settled, but because of the way she went about it, it was just overbearing.
Just be honest and take responsibility, and that's all we can hope for.
Kids will be kids.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Vardakas versus Adams, step forward, please.
25-year-old construction worker Joshua Wade Adams for unpaid wages.
Mr. Vardakas, it is your claim that the defendant, who I gather is a general contractor,
Yes, ma'am.
owes you for some painting work that you did for him. It appears from your complaint that you had done work painting, house painting.
Correct.
For him before, at least twice before, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
paid him, and it was satisfactory. This was the third job, and the third job was for also a two-story structure. Is that correct?
It was a two-story structure, but he was only titled to...
It was a two-story
Yes, ma'am.
structure. And when was he supposed to start the job?
April 3rd.
And did he report to work on April 3rd?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he work for the day on April 3rd?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was he supposed to be paid per day?
$300 total for the job.
And how many days were you supposed to work on the job, sir?
I worked a total of 2. Started April
April
1st and April 3rd.
You worked on this job on April 1st.
Correct.
For how many hours?
8 hours that day. It was a full day.
And then on the 3rd?
On the 3rd was a half day. I spent about 4 hours there.
I don't like abouts.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He asks you for some money. You don't say to him, I don't owe you any money. You say to him, she's making me wait for my money because I have to get some glass fixed. Why didn't you pay him any money?
Real cases, real people.
Joshua Vardakas says his former employer, Wade Adams, didn't pay him for a painting job. Wade is countersuing for online defamation.
Now, what happened to the second?
April 2nd wasn't the day that I worked, no.
Were you supposed to work?
No, it was just April 3rd was the day that I came in. That's when I was available to be able to come in and finish the job.
That doesn't sound reasonable to me. I don't know why. It just doesn't make sense. You usually start a job and you finish it.
I'm responsible for a lot of other projects that goes on around Northeast Ohio.
Mr. Vardakas, in the arrangement that you made with Mr. Adams, when were you supposed to start the job?
The 1st.
And when you were supposed to finish it?
Whenever it got done.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened when you went into work and that you only worked half a day? Did you finish the job?
No, I had to come back the 4th and finish
Did you come back and forth?
Yes. That was the last 4 hours I spent there.
When you left the job on the 4th, was the job that you were hired to do completed?
Absolutely.
Do you have any proof that it was completed and that Mr. Adams knew it was completed? That he acknowledged that it was completed?
Not in the evidence, not directly, but I do have images, me sending him the job. After a few days, we talked on the phone, job was good, everything was okay.
I'd like to see that.
I have the images of the photos of the job being done. This might be more than you really need.
Please don't give me more than I need.
Here, just this one. This is me sending pictures. That's some of the pictures out of all the pictures
Is your
that I
name
sent
Steve?
No, ma'am. I'm Rusty.
Steve was not able to make it today, ma'am.
Well, I don't need Rusty if Steve wasn't here. Sit. Why didn't you pay him for his work?
It was not completed, ma'am.
How much did you pay him?
I didn't pay him nothing.
How much were you supposed to pay him?
$300.
You have photographs of what was not completed?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. Now, that's what you were supposed to get, correct?
No, I was supposed to get $600. That's what the job paid.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Just 1 second. Did you paint both floors, upstairs and down?
not the upstairs, the basement. I painted the basement and the first floor. I lost the copy of that photo of the basement, but I do have it in my phone.
I'd like to see it. When did you first, also, while you're looking for that, when did you first make a demand for your money?
I gave him till the day that he said that he was able to pay me. I questioned him on it, like, hey, you know, what's going on? I didn't
Do you
hear...
have that in text messages?
Oh, yes.
Let me take a look.
Okay, this is where he started making his excuses on
May
why...
I please see, and now get me the picture that you were looking for.
Oh, if you left swipe twice.
Why didn't you pay him?
Because it was not done.
Just a second. You talked to him on April 12th, and you don't say to him on April 12th. You don't say to him on April 12th, you didn't finish the job. What you're saying on April 12th is, man, I assume the owner is making me wait, so I wish I had the money, but I'll get it to you, but I have to put windows in. That doesn't say you didn't finish the job.
I have a text message here I sent him, and he replied saying the basement door needed hit again, the trim needed, in the dining room needed hit, cocked around the top, and the basement re-hit again. That was on April 4th. So I had to hire somebody else to come and finish the job.
What I'm asking you is on April 12th, he asks you for some money. You don't say to him, I don't owe you any money. You say to him, she's making me wait for my money because I have to get some glass fixed. I'll have to go through them on Monday. Okay, well, can I get paid something? I really need the money. That's on April 12th. Why didn't you pay him any money?
Because I don't pay none employees until the job's done, man.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The counterclaim is for defamation. What did he say about you that you think is law-worthy?
Saying I lie, I'm a thief.
You are a liar, a cheat, and a thief. You didn't pay him for his job. He's...
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Construction worker Joshua Vardakis says his former employer, Wade Adams, didn't pay him for a painting job. Wade is countersuing for online defamation.
Now, what's the name of the person that you were doing this painting for?
Renee, but she works for Fame City. It's a realty company.
So you were doing a job for the real estate company?
Yes, ma'am.
How much did you charge them for the paint job in the house?
So the total job was $1,800.
What else did you do there?
We had to get it rent ready. We had to replace windows, replace some bathroom stuff, paint the upstairs, fix the front porch.
I'd like to see your invoice for that for $1,800, including painting.
Okay, he has
I'd like to see.
He has the picture of the invoice. Here's the rough estimate she signed.
I'd like to see that, Bert.
That's just labor. She buys the materials. Here's the invoice. This third job working with him started off on the bad foot, Your Honor. The first day with him and the other painter having a little scuffle.
I don't care. You have to pay him. You can't not pay the man.
I
you
agree.
can't not pay the man.
But it was not complete. I had to have somebody else come and finish it.
For somebody else is Steve, who's not here.
Great. He had ID issues.
Well, that's your problem. That isn't my problem. You have to pay him. And if you didn't pay him, I'm more than prepared to look at if you have a dialogue in writing with him. You didn't complete the job, so I'm prepared to pay you for the work that you did, but I'm not paying you whether it's $300 or $600. $300 seems like a pretty low wage if he worked there 3 days.
No.
Or you actually worked there 2 days.
A total, yeah,
You worked a
16
total of
hours,
2
man
days.
hours.
My painters, I pay $150 a day, Your Honor. If he gets it done sooner, he still gets the $300. If not, 2 days, he'll still get the $300.
What was the other job that he did for you?
He painted in Worcester.
When?
Back in March.
How much were you paid for that job, sir?
That job, $250.
And what did that entail?
Painting a kitchen and a living room, just the walls.
I don't care.
Sorry.
If you got paid $250 in March, you're not getting paid $600 2 months later. Then I believe him that he pays his painters $150 a day. You had to pay him something. So it's inexcusable that you didn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now,
we talked. I planned on. His wife was texting me, my wife. I was going to give him another chance. We have a bunch of other jobs. And I said, and he should have the text messages, so I'm trying to find mine.
I got it already.
I admitted I would talk on the phone.
Why didn't you just do that? Then you should have done that. Now, you have counterclaim. Your counterclaim is for defamation. What did he say about you for not paying him?
Oh, he's put on...
Just read me what he said. Did he say that nobody should work for you because you don't pay your employees?
He was just saying all kinds of... He's called... got on our youth football page. I'm the director of youth football. Started bashing us on youth football. Yeah, for 8, 9, 10-year-olds.
I don't understand what you're saying.
8, 9, 10-year-olds have nothing to do with it. He's just bashing us.
You have to listen to me. Look at me. I'm old. You have to speak slowly and clearly. What did he say about you that you think is law-worthy?
Saying I lie, I'm a thief, I'm a cheat.
You were a liar, a cheat, and a thief. You didn't pay him for his job. He's allowed to say that. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He didn't finish the job. I had to hire another painter to come and do it.
At least I got some money out of the deal.
Him and my 2 painters got in a pushing and scuffling match.
Never got physical. We got into it, and it wasn't even on the job that he was talking about.
He got on Facebook sites, saying I'm a liar, a thief, a cheat.
I went after it.
I don't do this and do that. Paying my employees, I treat them bad.
Nobody works for free, that's absolutely right.
No, I'm not ever hiring them again.
I do too good of work to get paid nothing.
You were renting one of your rooms to the plaintiff.
He intimidated me so much I did not feel safe.
She fled for her safety.
I moved out before I was able to do exactly everything that he wanted.
You, on the other hand, are still there.
Now she's looking for some security.
You kept a security deposit. You did not turn it over to your landlord. You kept it. There's a pattern here that I'm not liking.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Lisa Savelnis is suing her ex-roommate, Jeremy Kaufman, her ex-boyfriend, Nathan Peterson, and Nathan's mother, Joyce Peterson, for her deposit, rent, property, and negligence.
Order. All rise. It's case number 25 on the calendar in the matter of Savelnis versus Kaufman-Peterson. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Who are the Petersons? This is your son. You own the house.
It's a 5-unit apartment.
Do you own the whole thing?
Yes.
So you own the house?
Yes.
Your son manages the 5-unit house. Yes or Jeremy?
Yes.
You rent a room there.
It's a 2-bedroom apartment complex.
And you were renting one of your rooms to the plaintiff.
Yes.
And you were renting a room to her in your apartment where you paid how much rent?
At this moment, $19.25.
Well, at this moment, did it change yesterday?
Yes. Changed, I want to say maybe 2 months ago, Your Honor, while the plaintiff was living there.
How much was it?
$18.75, I think.
Okay. Now, before the plaintiff rented a room from you, had you had other roommates?
Yes.
When was the last time you had a roommate other than the plaintiff?
It would probably have to be a week before she moved in.
And what was the name of that roommate?
He had a weird name, Your Honor. I do not.
How long did he live there?
2 months. Orrin was his, I apologize, Your Honor, his name was Orrin.
How long have you lived in the apartment?
5 years.
Prior to Orrin, who lived there?
I had another roommate for 3 months named Justin.
Prior to Justin, what was the name of your roommate? I'm going to check with them.
Yeah.
What was the name of your roommate?
Prior to Justin was my, at that time, girlfriend, Casey. We lived there for 4 years before she moved out.
So let me understand this. After your girlfriend left you in the apartment, you had 2 months, and how long did the plaintiff live there?
7 months.
Did you collect security deposit from Orrin? That's a yes or a no?
Yes, I did.
Did you return his security deposit, yes or no?
No.
Did you collect security deposit from Justin?
Yes.
Did you return the security deposit to Justin?
Yes.
What's Justin's last name?
Can I go in my phone and look?
Yes.
Okay. Do you happen to know Justin's last name when I fill out the paper? I apologize. I do not know his last name.
You do not have it?
It's been a while.
Did you ever see a lease with Justin?
No.
Did you ever get any security deposit from Justin?
Never.
Did you?
No.
Now we're understanding how this game works. Did you ever get any security deposit from Orrin?
No.
Did you?
No.
Did you ever get any security deposit from the plaintiff?
No.
Did you?
No.
There's a pattern here that I'm not liking, because that's what the case is about. The case is about the return of the plaintiff's security deposit that she paid you when she moved in. How much did you pay him in security deposit?
Altogether, $1,100.
And you never received any money from her?
No.
Perfect. And you never received any money from her?
No. I'm just not
I'm
not part owner.
Just
so.
a second. You never got any security deposit from her?
Correct.
That's all. Who filed this counterclaim for invasion of privacy because she videoed the property? Raise your hand.
I would...
Yep, that would be you. Miss Peterson, the case against you is dismissed. You can sit down. Mr. Peterson, the case against you is dismissed. You can sit down. You, on the other hand, are still there. You kept her security deposit, of which Mrs. Peterson nor her son ever saw a penny. By the way, you're still living there, is that correct?
Correct.
So what I want you to show me are repairs, because I assume you had to put down security when you moved into the apartment.
Correct.
So what I want you to do is show me the damage that the plaintiff caused in the apartment and your receipts for fixing it. Do not show me any damage for which you do not have receipts.
Here's some screen work.
Don't speak, just do.
Okay. Your Honor, does cleaning stuff, due to the fact things were so dirty, do those count as receipts?
No.
Okay.
You understand, Mrs. Peterson, I've dismissed. Do you understand what he's doing?
Yes.
Okay, here's...
What he's doing is unconscionable in your property. I wouldn't...
Well, there was a reason for it, Judge.
Just don't give me a reason. I want receipts.
I'm going through them. Hardware, the doors.
Now, on what date did you move out?
I moved out on the 3rd of April.
Of this year?
Yes.
And the ceiling fan. Bear with me, Your Honor,
I'm bearing with you. When you come to court, you're supposed to be prepared. You kept her security deposit, and you kept her security deposit. You did not turn it over to your landlord. You kept it, and if you kept it, that means you have to show me receipts after April 3rd, 2019, that you did to repair the premises for damage that you allege that the plaintiff caused. And I want it, and I want it now.
I'm coming with it, Your Honor. My nephew just murdered in a mass shooting, so I'm trying to keep my depression and my anxiety low. If you can give me some time, please. It's just one more picture. Here, you could take these for now and run with these.
This is not for now. This is forever.
Okay. Oh, here it is, sweet. Ceiling fan. Yeah, I think so. One more, Your Honor. Sorry. The ceiling fan I had to replace. I got pictures of...
Hey, pay attention. The plaintiff moved out on April 3rd. On the 28th of April, you bought an upright vacuum cleaner.
I'm not charging for the vacuum cleaner.
Well, then what are you giving me?
Well, what receipt do you have?
Gave me...
There's probably the ceiling fan is on there, Your Honor. I apologize.
Just a second. You mean you want me to guess what else is on here?
I thought I highlighted
A rear trigger
it.
nozzle, fast-setting concrete, a classic wood picket fence.
Is the ceiling fan on there? Can I look at it?
Get the whole mess back, Bird.
It's right here, white ceiling fan.
Why did you need a ceiling fan?
Because she ruined the other one.
How did she ruin the other one? You said she didn't clean it.
Yep, well, I got a picture showing what it looked like before she moved in, and then what she left it at.
What's next? Next. I need to see other pictures of damage that you allege she caused. Don't give me a mess of papers. And a receipt to fix it.
So here's the receipts. Here's the fleas she caused with the receipt that I had to get.
Just a second. Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
See, so I can deal with him one at a time.
What would you like, Your Honor, the ceiling fan?
No. Let me see the next damage you are alleging. Fleas in Lisa's room. Inspection report en route. Now, you had an animal?
I did. I had a cat.
Did you have an animal?
I have a bird.
His girlfriend spends the night there with her dog that runs 9 miles a day with her.
Your Honor, I have
a
picture of flea medication she uses for that.
It's not a halo.
Just a second. Did the pest control, exterminators, did you pay them? It's $75. Is that what you pay them?
Yes.
That's deducted from the $1,100. Okay, what's next?
Screens.
Pictures?
It's on here.
And bill.
Here's some more screens, too.
Did you break the screen in your room?
The screen was originally broken by his prior roommate.
That's false, Your Honor.
Just put your hands down and don't speak. When you moved in there, was the screen broken or not?
It was broken.
Did you do further damage to the screen?
Yes, but not as much as he's extending.
Well, I don't think that you broke that screen.
I have different pictures, Your Honor.
May I see?
Sure.
May I speak to when you get a chance, Your Honor?
Is this a picture of the room when you moved out or in?
That's when I moved out before I was able to do exactly everything that he wanted, but he intimidated me so much I did not feel safe.
That is false,
He would
too,
not
Your
let
Honor.
me come in to return anything.
Understand me, sir. So far from the $1,100, I'm deducting $75. Do you understand?
Yes.
He wouldn't let me return anything he tries to charge me for. He's trying to charge me $100 for these 2 prints. He wouldn't let me return anything.
Just a second. Do those 2 prints belong to you?
I did.
Just a second.
Yes.
You want them back?
Yes.
Would you give them to him, Bird? So far, I'm allocating $45 for the screens.
Okay.
75 and 45. What's next?
What about the mold inspection report we had to get in and pay for, Your Honor?
I have a video of the mold, Your Honor.
You owe her $980 from her security deposit. Now, you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is that she videoed the inside of the house?
Correct.
Great. So you have no counterclaim. $980. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you.
Parties are excused. May step out.
We have an actual legit mold report showing that she created the mold itself.
Yeah, there's a mold infestation and proof that it had been on the property.
She lived in the bedroom, never opened the windows, created the mold problem.
Games.
She's a disgusting person, and learn from the lesson is never rent to a 45-year-old single lady with a cat.
And thank you so much, Judge Judy. Thanks.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harris versus Washington. Step forward.
Danielle Harris is suing her former friend, William Washington, for damage to a third party's vehicle after William had an accident while driving her car.
Mr. Washington, how long have you known Miss Harris?
Since I was young.
So for a very long time?
Yes.
And you were driving her car on what date?
Around May.
In May of last year?
Yes.
And tell me why you were driving her car.
Because she needed her car fixed, and it had a blown head gasket. So she didn't know what was wrong with it. I have found out what was wrong with it.
Just a second.
Oh, okay.
Her car blew a gasket.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find out that her car blew a gasket?
It had antifreeze leaking inside the oil where it mixed and it turns into like a milky color.
Now, did she ask you to find out what was wrong with the car?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is why I don't believe a word of what you're telling me. You don't necessarily have to have collision insurance, but you're mandated. If you want to waste my time and go show me that this car was a covered car under Allstate.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Danielle Harris says former friend William Washington owes for damaging a third party's vehicle while he was driving her car.
Now, did she ask you to find out what was wrong with the car?
Yes.
How did she ask you? Were you just friends or dating? What were you?
Say dating.
You were dating.
Yes.
And so you drove the car frequently?
Yes.
How frequently? Did you ever drive when you went out for dinner, when you went out to a movie, when you went to a friend's house? She always drove.
No, the car wasn't drivable. She had another car, and she needed to fix.
So this car wasn't drivable?
Mm-mm.
What kind of car was it?
2005 Pontiac Aztek.
And she had another car?
Yes.
That was drivable?
Yes.
And did you have your own apartment, or did you sometimes stay with Miss Harris?
No.
No is what?
No, I didn't stay with Danielle Harris. We wasn't together then.
Okay. So she just asked you to find out what was wrong with her car. So you were driving it?
Yes.
Now, were you driving it to a mechanic, or were you just driving it around?
Driving it around to see what was the problem.
Now, when you were driving it around,
the battery was dead when I went to go get it. So I had to get it towed.
So where did you get it towed to?
To my friend's house in front of her house.
So you had it towed from Miss Harris's house to your friend's house?
Yes, yes.
And do you remember what date that was?
March, because it was sitting.
So in March, you took the car from Miss Harris to work on?
Yes.
And you worked on it from March until May?
Yes.
When did you get it running?
I'm gonna say about the middle of May, because that's when I told her it's fixed.
So in mid-May, you called her? Did you see her in March?
No.
Did you see her in April?
No.
But in mid-May, you called her and said the car is fixed?
Yes.
Okay, you remember that phone call?
No.
Well, he towed the car, he says, in March. Is that accurate?
No.
When did he tow the car?
He's telling a lie. He had this car in his possession probably in late 2017. The car was being sold to him. He wasn't driving it trying to fix it for me. The car was being sold to him. I had it posted on Craigslist. I have evidence.
So the car was being sold, and he was going to buy the car from you?
Yes.
But he had not yet bought the car from you. You had not changed title. Is that correct? Is that correct?
No, it's not correct.
So
to the car.
So he didn't have title to the car, so he couldn't register it?
Yes, he couldn't register it.
Just a second.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He drives the car, he gets into an accident, and the other car sues you for almost $5,000. If you allow somebody to drive your car, it should be insured.
Okay, but I didn't allow him to drive the car. He was driving under not my permission.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Danielle Harris says former friend William Washington owes for damaging a third party's vehicle while he was driving her car.
Now, if he couldn't register the car because he didn't have the title, the sale of the car was not complete.
Correct.
So you owned the car.
Right.
Did you have the car registered?
Yes, the car was registered.
Good. And I'd like to know the name of your insurance carrier.
Allstate.
Well, if you had Allstate insurance, then you had to have had liability insurance. And therefore, if you had liability insurance, because this is what this case is about, this is why I don't believe a word of what you're telling me, Miss Harris. If the car was registered and it had insurance, and if Mr. Washington was driving the car and he had an accident when he was driving the carty. Now, you don't necessarily have to have collision insurance when you have insurance, but you're mandated if you have insurance to have liability insurance. So you want to waste my time and go show me that this car on the date of the accident was a covered car under Allstate?
The car wasn't covered in insurance. The car was mine technically in my name, but I was selling him in payments. I didn't put the car over into his name until he was done with the payments.
Miss Harris, you're not getting any money. If you allow somebody else to drive your car and it's uninsured, they have an accident, that's your responsibility. That's not his responsibility. That's your responsibility. You want to have no responsibility? Sell him the car. You were selling him the car, according to you, for $600. Then you have no responsibility. Now, he drives the car, he gets into an accident, and the other car sues you for almost $5,000. If you allow somebody to drive your car in your name, it should be insured.
Okay, but I didn't allow him to drive the car. He was driving under not my permission, and I have evidence for that, too.
Sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on...
Now, your name, your car, insurance. If you have no insurance, I don't hear your case. Do you understand?
The insurance got taken off because I was selling it. It was several people that asked to actually buy the car within that day. He begged me to take it off of Craigslist for him to get it out, like, to do payments, and we agreed to do payments.
Then keep it insured.
I didn't know that to keep it insurance when you're selling the car.
You were selling the car. You had not sold the car. As long as you had not sold the car, you have to keep it insured. And if he gets into an accident, it's your responsibility. If he didn't just damage another car, but if he hurt somebody, it would still be your responsibility. And his, but yours too. Do you understand? You can't come to court when you own a car that you don't insure and have either a good story, a not so good story, so that you want somebody else to pay for something that you could have avoided if you had insurance. Now, you drove another car, didn't you?
Yes, that was my car.
Just a second, and so you had insurance.
I took it off in 2017 when I was selling it.
We're done. Thank you very much. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next...
I feel like I should be responsible for his crash.
The brakes went out, and...
Basically, he just said a whole lie out there for one.
I didn't know it was out.
Like, he's driving the car. He wasn't supposed to drive the car.
Went into another car, coming to a stop sign.
He's definitely responsible.
I don't know. It is what it is.
He's not friends. His whole family is cut off.
Is this what they jackhammered?
Yes.
A mistake by mason workers was set in stone.
You and the crew went out and started to jackhammer the driveway, and you destroyed her property because you weren't smart.
Are they paving their way to unemployment?
You said, I want a new driveway.
For $4,000?
Don't.
What?
There's only one person here that has attitude.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Camilla Latini is suing cement mason Rudolfo Contreras and his employee, Gary Gomez, for mistakenly tearing up her driveway.
Order. All rise. It's case number 5 on the calendar. The matter of Judge Price has been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Latini, you own a home, and the defendant's company mistakenly jackhammered and dug up part of your driveway.
That's correct.
And they did so because they were under the mistaken impression that you would hire them to do that.
I'm not sure what... Okay, yeah.
But that's what they say.
Okay.
They were under the impression that you had hired them to do that. Mr. Contreras, you own this company?
No, it's not a company. It's a side job. We're both cement masons.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
Concrete, cement mason.
Okay. So this isn't a side job. This is what you do for a living.
It's what I do for a living, yes.
All right. And you and your partner did, in fact, go on to plaintiff's property and jackhammer part of her cement driveway. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Don't think of where I'm going. Just answer the questions.
All right.
Plaintiff never hired you to do that.
No.
This is what your defense is. You were contacted by someone on the internet who said that they owned this property that belongs to the plaintiff, and they wanted a new driveway. And you gave these people a quote. What was the quote for the new driveway?
$6,000.
$6,000 to put in a new driveway. She wasn't there.
Correct.
Neither was the person that you were dealing with over the internet.
Correct.
person that you were dealing with over the internet said, your price is agreeable. I'll wire you the money. But before I wire you the money, I want you to wire me $300 so I know that it's a legitimate place where I'm sending the money. So you sent that person who claimed to be the owner of the plaintiff's property a wire from your bank account for $300, correct?
Incorrect.
You say you sent them $300. How did you send it to them?
That was sent, me and this supposedly owner.
Just a second. Did you send them $300?
Yes.
How did you send them $300?
Through communications, through the text messaging, through the phone.
No, you can't send a text message with $300. How did you send them the $300?
Wired.
That's what I said. You sent them a wire for $300. And then you and the crew went out and started to jackhammer the driveway. And when you tried to get them to get you $6,000, according to you, they disconnected their phone, they disconnected their line. Oh, she comes home, she finds a driveway jackhammer. She said, who the heck are you? Driveway. She said, I never hired you to put in a new driveway. That's the story. I mean, that's what you told me in
Funny
here.
for you, huh? No, that is not what I told her. I haven't said much of anything for starters.
Well, I'm
With
just
all due
reading,
respect.
just a second. I'm reading your answer. And that's in a Reader's Digest form. So you tell me, did the plaintiff hire you to do a new driveway? That's a yes or a no.
No. And yes.
You tell me how yes. You tell me how the plaintiff hired you to put in a new driveway. Mr. Contreras, don't make yourself look foolish. Because if what I suggested was the accurate description of what happened, that you were hired by this person who you never met because he said he was out of town getting cancer treatment, which is what you wrote in your answer. And so you wired him $300 so he could confirm that he was dealing with a legitimate outfit before he sent you the $6,000 to do the driveway. You tell me what part of that is wrong. That's what you wrote.
For one, he was claiming to be the owner, okay?
I don't care whether he was claiming to be God.
It was a big scam, is what I'm getting at.
Just a second.
Okay.
If you opened up your ears, and if you used your ears more than your mouth, and used your breath, said, that's exactly the scenario that I just said, that you was scammed out of $300, and you destroyed her property because you weren't smart, which is clear to me how it happened. Crystal clear to me how it happened. Are you his partner?
I'm right here beside him.
What?
Yeah.
Good. The only question is, you said to her, I'll fix the part that I jackhammered. He said, I'll fix the part that I jackhammered. You said, I want a new driveway. That's what he says.
For $4,000?
Just don't jump.
What?
Listen, you have to understand something. You and your partner made a mistake. You got conned. It's like somebody I had here yesterday told me that she met a guy online from Nigeria who said to her, I want to come and live with you but I need to know your bank information. That's what happened to you. That's really what happened to you. You said, listen, you're in the concrete business. I have a house. I want you to do a job for me, but I want to make sure I'm dealing with a legitimate outfit. So wire me $300. I'll send it right back to you along with $6,000 to do the driveway. You sent them the $300. They closed their line. You never heard from them again. And you destroyed another person between you, who were dumb and got scammed, and the plaintiff. You're responsible. Now, the only question that I have to decide is, and that's going to be based on pictures, is I want to see what the driveway looked like jackhammered. I want to see whether patching the driveway is sufficient, or you charged $6,000 to put in a new driveway. There's no question. I've had and I have a lot of driveways. Unless you do the whole driveway, it looks like a patch job. It looks like one piece is done in 2020 and one piece is done in 2002, and it doesn't look right. So now I have to see what part you jackhammered and whether reasonably it can be repaired or whether she needs a new driveway. That's the law. Now, may I see photographs, please?
Well, this photograph is
Just don't tell me what the photograph is. Just hand it to me.
That's before the damage. The one after is after.
Don't talk. Don't talk. Just
Don't talk.
stuff.
This is like a silent
Thank
movie. This is a before and after picture. What does that mean?
The stack of pictures, that's the after I had it repaired. And it does look like a patchwork job.
Halfway job. Is this the fix?
That's the fixed.
And is this what they jackhammered?
Yes.
Can I see the bill, what you spent to have it fixed? Just the bill to have it fixed. Good, thank you. I want to know how much you spent to have it fixed. I have two checks.
Yes.
$2,268 are the two checks that I have.
Yes. So the gentleman that fixed it, we paid one check to him before he started the job and another check to him after he finished.
So you spent $2,268.
And also $895 for the concrete. To save us money, he said that if I ordered the concrete myself and saved him doing that, that I could save some money. So.
Got it. Listen, she got a bargain. You charge
$4,000, you do the whole driveway.
Listen to me. You watch your attitude. There's only one person here that has attitude.
Oh.
Listen to me. For people who were stupid enough to get scammed by this person, I would not be so aggressive. You were charging this man who was... hey, I'm speaking. You may get away with that at home, not in here. $1,000 for a new driveway. She had the thing done for $3,160. You should get down on your knees and kiss her feet.
That wasn't even a third of the driveway.
Judgment for the plaintiff.
Oh, I had additional. I hired a private investigator to find them.
Yeah, you charged that one on the bill, too.
And I'd lost wages.
Yeah,
you would have answered your
work.
phone, we could have done it.
Nobody called.
She did your work. She would large wages, man.
I'm gonna need you to be quiet. Really. No.
Right.
I'm gonna need you to be quiet.
I didn't know if someone had done this as an act of vandalism.
I understand we did a mistake, okay? I got scammed, that's that.
I didn't know what happened, so it was pretty scary.
I could have fixed it for her. I would have paid the concrete out of pocket. I'm still scammed out of $400.
I hired a private investigator, actually, to even find them. I had no idea who had done the damage.
I could have paid for the concrete, done the work, done deal. Everybody's happy. She never gave me the opportunity.
I'm glad my driveway's fixed.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Speller versus Jelks. Step forward, please.
Sharon Speller is suing mechanic Dwight Jelks for the cost of car parts and for the value of a vehicle that went missing.
Mr. Jelks, I'm going to start with you. The plaintiff brought a car into you to be fixed.
Correct.
And it was an old car, and it was a car that she had inherited. Tow it.
I towed it.
So you went to her house and you towed it.
Correct.
Had you known her before you towed the car?
Yes, I did.
For how long?
A few years.
Now, on what date did you tow this car in to your shop?
I want to say October.
Of last year.
Correct.
And when had you inherited the car, Ms. Speller?
Like September of 2016.
From whom?
My uncle.
Had you been driving it?
I drove the car from Alabama.
When?
Like September of 2016.
And then what did you do with it?
It started cutting off. So then I called Dwight to come see, why the car was cutting off. Dwight he had the car. It was going back and forth, and forth. Me and Dwight.
On what date did you give him the car?
I said maybe like September 18th of 2016. He gave me the car back to try to take it to the emissions test, like in November. It didn't work out.
Just a second. So in November of 2016, it didn't pass emissions?
Yes.
So you couldn't register it?
It had already been registered.
That is not correct.
If it had already been registered, why would you take it to emissions?
Because when I had the car, I had to get the car in my name, and it wouldn't pass the emissions. You know how they give you time to get it fixed?
Just a second.
Yes.
So it didn't pass emissions in November?
Mm-hmm, yes.
So what did you do with the car between October of 2018, is my question.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You drove it for a while, and then it would break down?
Yes, ma'am.
And what year car was this?
This is a 1994 Buick LeSabre.
So the car's about 25 years old?
Yeah, but it was in good condition. Only had
well, evidently not if it kept breaking down.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sharon Speller says mechanic Dwight Jelks is responsible for the disappearance of her car.
So what did you do with the car between November of 2016 and October of 2018 is my question.
From my house back to Dwight's.
I don't want you to call him by his first name. Mr. Jelks.
Mr. Jelks.
So it went back to Mr. Jelks.
Yes.
Is what you're telling me over a 2-year period, it went back and forth to be fixed?
Yes.
And it was unregistered? Just, that's either a yes or a no. If it's a yes, it was registered, you'll show me the registration.
Yes.
So was it registered
Yes.
between 16 and 18?
Yes.
Show me.
If the car was registered, it wouldn't have got towed.
What?
If the car was registered, it wouldn't
No,
have
I
got towed.
just want to see where. This is 2016. I want to see that the car was registered between 2016 and 2018.
No, the license plates had expired by then.
Well, then why are you wasting my time giving me nonsense when I ask you for something? You think if you just give me a piece of paper, it's going to suffice? So the answer is between 2016 and 2018, the car was not registered.
Yes.
So between 2016 and 2018, I'm going to ask you this question again. What were you doing with the car?
It was going back and forth.
How is
to
it
Mr.
getting? How is it getting back and forth? What? Stand. Name.
My name is Hollis Heron. I'm her son. Between 2016 and 2018, a car run like for a few days, like, and then it'll overheat.
I want to know what was happening with the car between 2016 and 2018 when it wasn't registered.
Because we was trying to get it registered. Every time it was something different. First, the fuel pump went out. He took the car back to fix the fuel pump. We get the car, we was gonna take it to the emission place again. It cut off again. Then it was the battery went out.
Not drivable. You drove it for a while and then it would break down.
Yes, ma'am.
So you drove the car while it was unregistered and then it would continually break down and you would take it back to the mechanic to see if he could fix it.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And was he able to ever fix it?
He always
No.
No.
And what year car was this?
This was a 1994 Buick LeSabre.
So the car is about 25 years old.
Yeah, but it was in good condition. It only had like...
Well, evidently not if it kept breaking down.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What you say is that in October you brought it for the last time to your shop?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
The car was towed from in front of my house.
What was it doing in front of your house?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sharon Speller says mechanic Dwight Jelks is responsible for the disappearance of her car.
So the car is about 25 years old.
Yeah, but it was in good condition. It only had like...
Well, evidently not if it kept breaking down. Evidently not. If what you're telling me and what your mother is telling me is that over a 2-year period, it would drive, would cut out, would emissions. You could never get it registered in 2 years because it was never in condition to get registered. So don't tell me it was in good condition.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. This car you inherited. Now, what you say is that in October you brought it for the last time to your shop?
Yes, ma'am.
Of 2018? And then what happened?
The car was towed from in front of my house because it had expired plates.
What was it doing in front of your house?
Because I work in the back of my home in the garage. So I was going to repair the car there, but the car got towed the day before I was going to put the motor in it. Another motor.
That's your fault.
For the car?
Yes. If you accept the responsibility as a mechanic and take custody of someone's property, you're not an insurer, but you have to exercise a reasonable standard of care to see that it doesn't get towed.
Correct.
Now, you knew that it had no plates, and you're a mechanic, so you know if the car is on your property, they won't tow it, because normal people know that, and you look like a normal person.
Correct.
You negligently left it on the street, and according to you, it was towed. She doesn't know where her car is.
In which I told her where her car was, and I was willing to pay.
Just a second. Where was her car? How do you know that?
Because they notified me.
Do you have the notification?
No, I don't.
How did they notify you?
They put a card in my mailbox letting me know that the car was towed.
How much after the car was towed did you notify the plaintiff that the car was towed?
The next day.
How did you notify her?
By phone and text.
Can I see the text?
Don't have no text also.
You have no text?
Oh, ma'am.
Have no nothing?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I'd like you to give me, Bird, the low-end value of 1994, whatever this was.
$1,002.
$1,002.
$1,002.
She stated that the car was registered, in which it wasn't. That's the reason the car was towed.
Listen to me, sir. You're a mechanic.
Correct.
Your obligation is to, if I take my car into Ford or Chevrolet or a mechanical service to take care of my car, and they negligently leave my car out on the street at a meter, and the meter expires, towed, that's your fault. You have to exercise reasonable care because I assume you got paid when you were fixing this car.
Yes.
Right. The car's worth $1,002. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Goodbye.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's all a rip-off because there was never nothing wrong with the motor.
Things happen.
It was just one thing after another. I'm just glad it's over with.
The car was towed. I didn't get a chance to get it running again.
Called me and said, Miss Sharon, did you come get your car? And I said, of course not.
I told her that the car was at the pound and she didn't go get it.
And then he called back the next day and said the car had got towed.
That's what happens.
Don't deal with alley mechanics.
You put down the $1,000.
Money was an issue from the start.
We closed on the house in January.
Shh. And her annoyed ex just can't stop.
What part of don't speak unless I'm speaking to you didn't you understand?
I will be quiet.
No, I'm done with you. You could have been tied to him forever.
Right.
You were probably very lucky because I couldn't live with him for 2 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy.
Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Ashley Williams is suing her ex-boyfriend, Robert Reynolds Jr., for money owed for a deposit on a home, a headstone for the child she miscarried, an assault, and harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 31 on the calendar in the matter of Williams versus Reynolds.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Williams, you and the defendant were involved in a relationship for a period of time, and you claim he owes you for 2 things.
Yes, ma'am.
The first thing is you lived together for a while in your home, and then Mr. Reynolds was going to buy a home.
Yes.
And under the, I think it was the VA bill,
Yes, ma'am.
he was allowed to buy a home without much of a down payment. He just had to put in earnest money, which was $1,000.
Yes.
And you put down $1,000
Yes,
earnest
ma'am.
money, and then you both moved into the house together.
Yes, ma'am.
In what month and year?
We closed on the house in January.
Of this year?
January 2019.
Shh. And so you moved in February?
Yes.
And you planned on living together?
Yes, we did.
When you closed on the house, you said, we closed on the house. Describe that.
Of $1,000, and we paid that, of course, prior, a good faith deposit.
What part of don't speak unless I'm speaking to you didn't you understand?
Yes, ma'am. We were required to put down money.
I know you were required to put down $1,000. You put down the $1,000. Then there was a mortgage. You lived there in February.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Where did you live prior to February? In your home?
Sullivan Road, in an apartment.
It was just you living?
One-bedroom apartment.
And how long did Mr. Reynolds live with you?
He lived with me approximately 6 months before he moved into the home.
And Mr. Reynolds, is that correct that
No,
you...
ma'am, it is. No, ma'am, no, it's not just.
Just say no.
Yes, ma'am.
How many months did you live
Approximately
with...
1 year. I'm sorry.
How many months did you live with Miss Williams in her apartment prior to moving into the house?
Approximately March to December when I closed on the home in January.
I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again. How many months did you live with Miss Williams prior to moving out and moving into the home?
Approximately 10 months.
And what were you doing to earn a living in that 10 months?
I'm a disabled veteran.
So you get something from the VA?
And I also work.
What kind of work do you do?
I've been a banquet since 1999. I worked several venues all throughout the city. I work as a temp agency. They send me off. That's where I met her on the job. Apologize,
I'm really
Judge.
not interested.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
So you are a disabled veteran,
Yes,
in which you get a pension from the VA, and in addition, you do all kinds of other jobs all around the city. And how did you split the expenses for the 10 months that you lived with her? She paid rent in her apartment. Did you pay half the rent?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was your half of the rent?
Approximately.
Not approximately. Rent is never approximately. Rent is always an exact figure.
$100.
You paid $100 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much was the total rent?
I think it's like $400, something like that. Watch. She's on the government subsidy.
All I want to know is, how much was the rent? If you don't know, say, I don't know. You're allowed to say, I don't know. You're allowed to say, I don't know what the rent was, but I gave her $100.
HUD Bash required her to pay $200 to $400 per month. She was in a HUD Bash home.
$240.
Yes, ma'am.
And you gave her you just said approximately.
I apologize, Judge Judy.
Do you know how much?
She would tell me.
You don't
Listen to me. I try to get my husband to say this all the time, these 3 words. We've been together 44 years.
Yes, ma'am.
I still, he can't say 3 words. You know what the 3 words are?
I don't know.
That's right.
I've watched you all your life. I've watched
That's
you.
right.
I've watched you.
Doesn't know.
Yes, ma'am.
It must be something in the male DNA gene. They'll make up a number, they'll make up a figure, they'll make up but they can't use those 3 words. Somehow it's emasculating when you say, I don't know. How many miles is it from here to Pluto? 4,968 approximately. I don't know is the answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go on. How much was your rent in the apartment where you were living?
$240.
And did he give you $100 a month?
Yes.
Good. So he helped you with the rent. Great. Now, you were able to save $1,000.
Yes.
And if you paid $240 in rent, then there must have been some kind of government subsidy of your rent.
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
I was in a program that paid for partial of my rent.
Do you work?
Yes, I'm a banquet server as well.
So you managed to save at least $1,000. You were able to put that down, and there was an understanding that you would be living together in this house. It didn't work out.
Yes,
so you want the $1,000 back.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, you don't get the $1,000 back because the $1,000 was, you didn't in fact live together, but there was no contract that said it was a loan.
Yes, it was a loan. I emailed him and said it was a loan. It was not a gift.
Just a second. When did you email him and say it was a loan? Before or after you left?
Before I left.
Let me see. I didn't ask you anything.
Yes, ma'am. Can I please interject something, Judge Judy?
No.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. It's so funny, though.
Here you go.
No. That's in December. I let you borrow. You sent to him, I let you borrow $1,000. That's ridiculous. You have to have a contract.
You have proof, the receipts,
There's
the
no,
money on.
There's no question that you put down $1,000. The question is, was there a contract between the 2 of you that at some point, even if you lived together, he was going to return that money? And there was no agreement between the 2 of you. You have no contract that he was going to return that money, Miss Williams.
All right.
I mean, I read your case, and what I'm telling you is the only thing that has to be returned is an engagement ring. But if you live together and you're planning on living together and it doesn't work out and you put in $1,000 and he paid the mortgage in February and he paid the mortgage in March, you don't get that money back. We don't have a place for that unless there is a contract. Mr. Reynolds, this is a loan. I'm putting down the earnest money for the house, but I expect you to pay it back. And if you agree, I will give you the $1,000. And he says to you, I agree to pay you back. I will give you $100 a month or $200 a month in exchange for the $1,000. That has to be a contract. And there was no contract. You unilaterally telling him in a text message 3 months later, I let you borrow $1,000. $1,000 is not a contract.
All
Do you
right.
understand? Okay.
Yes, okay,
The
I
next
have.
part of your lawsuit is that, unfortunately, you became pregnant and lost the baby when you were in your 4th month. You claim that Mr. Reynolds is responsible for half the cost of a headstone because you decided to have a burial for the child that you lost, and you put up a headstone.
Yes.
And that cost you how much?
$800.
In what month did that happen?
November 18, 2018 is when I lost the baby.
And you were still living together at the time?
Yes.
I'd like you to tell me the conversation that you had with him regarding the headstone.
The conversation was, there was $400 that I paid.
No. That's not a conversation.
Okay.
Because not everybody memorializes a miscarriage like that with a headstone.
Yes.
In the 4th month. So I would like you to tell me what was the conversation that you had with Mr. Reynolds regarding his participation.
For the monies that's the headstones due because he's the father.
Well, that's what you say he said. I want you to tell me the whole conversation from the beginning to end.
The beginning to end, he said...
Yeah, look at me.
Look at you. Okay. He said, I will pay for the remaining cost because he is a dad. Yes, he will.
Is that what you said?
No, ma'am, I most certainly did not.
No.
Here's the evidence for the cost and everything that I paid.
It's not a question of what you paid.
Okay.
It's a question of whether Mr. Reynolds agreed to participate in paying for the headstone.
He participated
and I asked
in making the child, so he's the father. No disrespect.
You're not disrespecting me. You're just not understanding me.
Okay.
I asked you to tell me about the conversation. You had a miscarriage. And after you had a miscarriage, you had a conversation with him. I said, not every miscarriage is memorialized with a headstone at that term in a pregnancy.
Yes, it's very...
So I want you to tell me about the conversation that you had with him. You said to him, I want to have a headstone. And he said to you, that's the conversation. I'm going to ask you where you were when you had the conversation, what time of the day. I'm going to ask you questions like that because he said that conversation never took place.
Well, ma'am, I was there. I was at the courthouse. I asked him, I said...
You were at the courthouse?
Yes, I was at the courthouse.
What were you doing in the courthouse?
I went in there to get some paperwork.
What paperwork?
The paperwork that I needed to...
So you needed to go to the courthouse to get a death certificate?
Yes.
Some sort of a death certificate? Did they give you one?
No, they didn't. I had to go back to the funeral home, yeah.
And then did you get a certificate?
Yes.
Did Mr. Reynolds go with you?
No.
Did he go with you to the courthouse?
No.
Did he go with you back to the funeral home?
Yes.
And was it at the funeral home that the headstone was ordered?
Yes. It was months later. I got a quote for the funeral. We just discussed the burial procedures at the funeral home at Fonzo Dawson.
So there was no payment at the funeral home?
Yes, we paid. I paid $400.
You paid?
Yes.
Did Mr. Reynolds pay anything?
No, ma'am.
So you paid $400 for a burial?
Yes.
And he didn't pay half?
No, ma'am.
And then you bought a stone?
Yes, the stone.
And the stone was $800?
Yes.
So he didn't pay for half the burial. What made you think he was going to pay for half the stone?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
You see the defendant
Yes.
with her little girl.
Yes.
Her little girl was crying.
Yes, she's consoling her. I see this pole that's got a cement in the bottom so the wind doesn't knock it over against my car.
Okay, come up here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ashley Williams says ex-boyfriend Robert, a headstone, an assault, and harassment. Robert is countersuing for unpaid rent.
So you paid $400 for a burial?
Yes.
And he didn't pay half?
No, ma'am.
And then you bought a stone?
Yes, the stone.
And the stone was $800?
Yes.
So he didn't pay for half the burial. What made you think he was going to pay for half the stone?
I was just assuming that he would just go half with me.
Well, that's not something that you do in court, Miss
Okay.
Williams.
Yes, sorry.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So you seem like really a very, very nice lady.
Yes.
And it seems that you were a nice lady, and you were probably very lucky because I couldn't live with him for 2 seconds.
Yes, ma'am. Right.
I couldn't live with him for 2 seconds.
Right.
So a tragedy was averted.
Yes.
You could have been tied to him forever.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, right.
Do you understand?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
could have been tied to...
Right.
Because according to you, things got a little bad. He drinks?
Yes, heavy.
Do you drink?
No.
I sort of know Mr. Reynolds drinks. Do you drink too much, Mr. Reynolds?
I most certainly do not, Your Honor. I always drink a little glass of red wine every once in a while for my digestion. My nerves are bad with this young lady, and I have...
Well, you're not living with her for a long time, so how could your nerves be bad? They can't be bad with me.
She constantly lies, disappears, block her phone number.
All right, Mr. Chief Reynolds, I'm done with you, sir. We're done.
Apologize,
and I'm
Judge Judy,
just
please.
done with you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm done with you because your counterclaim is for the rent you say she owes you for the few months that she lived there because she lived in your house and didn't split the mortgage. That's what you want.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. Goodbye!
Judge Judy, I have a
Parties
case.
are excused. You may
Judge Judy,
step out.
please.
We're here today because of because of our loan.
Get in the court and start lying about there's no tombstone, okay?
We're here for
She never purchased one, okay?
just pain and suffering that I had to go through.
That is not my child. I'm certain, and I wanted the DNA.
The child is his, yes.
Boom, that's right.
Don't deal with no good men, no good guys, yes.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Page versus Jackson. Step forward.
Shalitha Page is suing Brandy Jackson for car repair bills after Brandy's daughter knocked over a parking sign, damaging her vehicle.
Miss Page, it is your claim that the defendant's little girl, that's this little girl here, is responsible for damage to your car.
Yes.
So I'd like you to tell me when that happened, where it happened, and how it happened.
On February 13th, I had pulled up to pick my girls up from the Boys and Girls Club, and I had pulled up in front. My girls were on their way out, and I hear this loud boom. I didn't realize if it was my system or...
I don't care what you heard a boom.
I heard a boom, and so I went honking, and at that point, I knew that I needed to get out of my car, and so I got out of my car, and when
you say you heard a boom, you know if something hits your car. Did you feel something hit your car?
I have a system in my car.
What?
I have a system in my car, and I listen to loud bass music, and it was so I was just like, I didn't know what happened. So when I heard the person honking their car, I knew at that point I needed to get out of my car. So I put my car in park. I got out and came around, and I saw these two in the back corner of my car. Her daughter was crying hysterically. She's trying to comfort her, tell my kids to get in the car, and I'm like, I see the sign.
Just a second.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The intervening act that caused damage to her car was the fact that you didn't have control of your daughter.
But she wasn't supposed to be parked there in the first place, Your Honor.
Now, do you have any other argument that you want to make? I just made it very fast.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Shalitha Page claims Brandy Jackson's daughter knocked over a parking sign, damaging her car.
You see the defendant
Yes.
with her little girl.
Yes.
Her little girl was crying.
Yes.
I want you to take step by step. So you see her little girl is crying, and?
She's consoling her in the bottom so the wind doesn't knock it over against my car. And after I tell my kids to get in the car.
So your children came out
Yes.
of the Boys and Girls Club.
Two of
You
them.
tell them to get into the car. This pole with the cement block is leaning against your car.
Yes.
Okay, come up here. Tell me your name.
Sydney.
You remember what happened with the lady's car?
Uh-huh.
Do you go to the Boys and Girls Club?
Not anymore, it's closed.
But did you go for a time?
Uh-huh.
And tell me what happened with the pole and the lady's car.
Me and my mom were walking outside, and I grabbed a hold of the pole, and it fell over.
And it fell over. You didn't mean to do that.
Mm-mm.
No, of course not. Okay, go and sit down. You're a very pretty little girl and very smart. Terrific. So was there a scratch on your car?
Several.
I'd like to see a picture of it.
These are just so you can see what kind of car I have, but there's that. And then here's the actual pole and the damage.
Okay, can I see an estimate for the damage,
Yes.
please? Okay. You have anything you want to tell me?
I do.
Well, let's make it brief because you're responsible for her damage. $452 is what it's going to cost. You have an adorable little girl who told me that she grabbed hold of this pole.
Yeah.
Whether she grabbed hold of it or she was trying to stand on it, she's your responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
She's a child. You have to watch her.
Yes, ma'am.
If because of her actions, the plaintiff's car did not fly into the pole,
No.
there was an intervening act. And that intervening act was the fact that you didn't have control of your daughter. So if you're going to tell me that she wasn't supposed to be parked there because it's no parking, that's not the reason that her car was damaged.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, the reason her car was damaged was because you weren't in control of your child. That's the reason. And it says no standing, no drop-off, no pickup. That's not the reason her car was damaged. So I don't want to hear that. So forget that argument. I'm just looking at the arguments. Your car should not have been parked there. And your second argument, because they should not have put the sign up there. And if the sign wasn't there, then your daughter wouldn't have been able to topple it over into the plaintiff's car. Both of those arguments fail. Now, do you have any other argument that you want to make? I just made it very fast. Those were the two you made in your defense.
Yeah, I'd like for you to see these. This is what the sign is in.
I know what the sign is in. I see it.
This happened before.
No, that's
just a second. So now it's happened before.
I'm just assuming by the judge or by the looks of the bucket.
It doesn't matter. The intervening act that caused damage to her car was the fact that you didn't have control of your daughter.
Right, she wasn't supposed to be parked there in the first place, Your Honor.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $452. We're finished.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I witnessed someone parked in the wrong place. My daughter's a 6-year-old girl, so.
Her daughter's reckless. I mean, she's a wild child.
I was walking a step ahead of my daughter. We were holding hands.